Yeah, profit martial occurrence. So this video is going to be about being a student versus a master. Because if I don't say this, it's these black folks that think I'm a student. You still think I'm a student, don't you? Well, I look at the signs that you put in the atmosphere and things you think you're doing. Listen, I'm no student. I'm a sensei, buddy. I'm a sensei at what I'm doing. What am I doing? Can you tell me what I'm doing? I'm a spiritual warrior, buddy. I'm a prophet of God. I told you that. Okay, so if you stuck on retarded and you didn't hear me, okay, maybe you think I'm out there selling drugs. Maybe you think I'm a person that's about to do a lick, go on a lick or something. Nah, bro. Look, let me tell you something. I made it very clear. I am a prophet of God, right? You chose to hold to your own narrative about whatever else you thought. And that's you being corny. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, nobody knows nobody through and through. No. Even if you are psychic or whatever else you want to be, you still don't know people through and through. And that's that. That's what it is, man. You know, and if you play a corny position where you think you want to try to define the person, like some little game or something, hey, look, you're going to wind up with the egg on your face like you do now. You got egg on your face because I became something that you didn't know I was. And keep in mind, I'm growing as a person. I'm growing as a person. Okay, so this idea that I'm somebody to play with, this game that you can't resist, that's why your country is being destroyed. And it's not going to get no better because the escalation going to be Greenland. That's the other escalation you got to watch for now. Or the situation down in South America. But I'm looking at more Greenland right now because Iran done kind of quieting down, you know, but that could flare up too. But now we're looking at Greenland and America's position over there. There's so many battlefronts. It's no way in the world they're gonna come out of this unscathed, man. That's what I'm saying. Just get used to the thought that basically this is the beginning of World War III. Just get used to the thought of it. But what I'm harping on today is I'm not a student. I'm a sensei. I know everything about myself. See, the sensei knows himself through and through. Because if a sensei can train somebody else, okay, so the sensei studies the person through and through, right? And finds the weaknesses, find the strengths, and I'm talking to real people that know martial arts. I'm talking about the real thing. They study through and through the person through and through, right? In order to be a true sensei, you have to study yourself, your mind, your own mind and heart. You got to know yourself through and through. So then, if I master myself, I can master other people. See, what I do is I master myself, right? And that just makes sense for that to be the way things are. If I master myself, I master other people because I know you're a human being too, right? So you're not going to be too far from who I am. That's why I don't make any mistakes, big major mistakes. I get sympathy in every situation because I'm gonna articulate humanity, the same humanity that you are, the same things that you going through. And so I'm gonna find a point of relation that these lame boys that's in these secret societies are not gonna find. They're not gonna find that point of relation like I am with humanity. Cause I know how humanity thinks. And a lot of people don't. Oh no, they don't. They don't know how people think. That's why they make all kind of mistakes. I don't make no major mistakes. Okay, I don't make no mistakes. You ain't got. See, you thought I had a hang up with sexual deviance. No, I don't. I'm at war with those who are playing games. That's what it ain't my thoughts. It's the games that you're playing, and I know that. Okay, so I don't have any hangups. Now that the world have seen me, they know I don't have no hangups. You know why? You know how they know? Because they've lived long enough. They've seen me long enough to know what I do and I don't do. They've seen me live long enough to see what I do and what I don't do, right? Okay, so they see I don't have the hangups. Okay, you're still thinking I do. I don't. What I am doing is fighting against all the stuff that you conjured up. That's what I'm doing. Which means you conjured up the satanic kingdom to see that you're playing a game with this person and these demons are going to come in and give you lies around me. And see, you're not that advanced to know that. So then you think you know what you know. No, you don't know what you know because you don't know anything about the satanic kingdom. You think you do, but you don't. Okay, so once you accused me and tried to fight against me, demons came and gave you lies in my atmosphere. So I got to deal with that because of you. Okay, so that's basically what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing going on here. You know what I'm saying? What's going on here is reality. Okay, and so I'm not on the. Let's clarify this. I am not on the level of a rapper, and I can't stress this enough because it's people that know I'm a musician. I was a musician, right? So then they definitely gonna think I'm a rapper. I'm not a rapper, bro. Okay, I was a musician. I'm inclined musically. Always will be inclined musically, but I am not in the position of a rapper or something like that. So I'm basically talking about positions. I'm not in the position of no rapper. I'm not in the position of a street person. I got more respect than a street person. I got respect from military without being somebody. See, if you're already famous, okay, everybody gonna respect you. So you don't really know what real respect is anymore. You know what I'm saying? Not really. I mean, you're really just trying to gain the respect of people who are critics as opposed to everybody else just blindly give you respect. So you're really at war with getting respect from critics as opposed to just everyday people. You don't have to go through those wars anymore like we do. You know, they just gonna hand you respect on a platter and they don't really know who you are. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, me, I can clarify street stuff. I can go down to these lower levels and clarify because it's beneath the God's kingdom. That's common sense. So if I'm in God's kingdom, I'm gonna be above the streets and what it consists of. And that's what people can't stand. If I'm in God's kingdom, how I'm below the streets? Make it make sense. That don't even sound geographically right. I'm in God's kingdom, but I'm below the streets. That don't even sound right in reality and geographically speaking. And it's not. Intellectually, it's not. I got more on my mind than the streets. I'm more spiritual than the streets. I'm more powerful than the streets. Without money, me as a person, I am more powerful than them guys out there. Understand the difference between internal power and external power. Internal power, internally, I'm more powerful. Well, everything I consist of, for the most part, is from the spiritual world, from God's kingdom. So I gotta be more powerful than you. And see, people got the hang-ups, back to hang-ups, where you feel like, oh, this person gotta do more to prove to me. I don't gotta do nothing more to prove to you. If you were smart, you'd stop playing around me. You ain't learned that lesson yet? You ain't learned the lesson to stop playing around me? That's the arrogance of black people, and that's how they get smoked all the time. They get smoked all the time because they want to test the fire. They want to play with fire. You know, that's just what it is. I'm keeping it 100. All them people out there ain't steppers, man. Some of them are not certified killers or got the mindset of a killer. You know, it's a psychology, right? And they can shoot a gun and everything and not have the psychology of a killer, because in our times, it became so twisted that really people want to be the stepper or the killer or the driller just for the reputation. just for the reputation, just to say that you are, just to feel that feeling, you know. But they don't really have the psychology, and they fold, you know what I'm saying, and they wind up dying in the streets. You know, it's a lot of people like that. You see what I'm saying? It's just a lot of kids laying their life down trying to be a killer, you know what I'm saying, trying to be a shooter. But they don't have the psychology. Because when you got the psychology, more times than not, you're going to make it out a lot of situations. But if you don't got no psychology, you ain't going to make it out. And so ironically, you're not trained, okay? You're not trained. And if you're not trained, you ain't going to make it. You're not a student. You're not even a student. It's just people want to pick it up to get the reputation. You know what I'm saying? You don't got the full psychology. You don't got the stigmas that come with it. Well, people think you crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what comes with it. If they don't think you crazy, you probably don't have the psychology of a killer, because you gonna see the difference between me and you eventually. And you gonna know that ain't how you are. Right? No, that ain't how you are. And you gonna think a person is crazy. That's what I'm saying. And so, you know, and that's even trained soldiers. That's trained soldiers. Because, see, like I said, we're not talking about street theatrics. We're not talking about street antics. I already told y'all, it's going to be, it's a standoff between God's kingdom and the street kingdom. Because the street kingdom got in our politics. And they acting like I don't know. This is for certified street people. We ain't talking about lames no more. See, I had to take so much time covering lames, because lames was the main ones out here that I couldn't get to the streets. And you was listening to lames as the streets. That's what you was doing. Whether you admit it or not, you was listening, you was entertaining lames, and now you realize it. Okay, so I had to keep addressing lames, but I was throwing in the street principles. Because to me, listen, I don't care if it's, no disrespect, I don't care if it's Dame Dash, I don't care if it's Jay-Z, I don't care if it's whoever, I don't care who it is. If they can't take something from you that you have. Make sense? If you got street principles, if you got street smarts, you're a street person. And now a street nerd is going to break down all these different situations. I'm not a street nerd. Because whether I think you're a street person or not, if you have the mentality, the psychology of a killer, I have to take caution as a person of the jungle. I have to. See, that's what a lion does. A lion gonna take caution. A primal animal. The term is primal. A person that's primal is like a cat. Let me show you one of the most misunderstood things about a cat. A cat is not scary. People call cats scary because they watch a cat and the cat run and move. When you grow up as a man, if you're still saying a cat is scary, then you don't have education. You didn't educate yourself. A cat is not scary. A cat is primal. That's the word. Like as if it's in the jungle. If you watch how a cat walks as opposed to a dog, a cat walks and takes caution everywhere they go, like they in the jungle. Because they have the nature of a primal creature, which is in the jungle. So if you're in the jungle, you have to advance watching everything and every little move. So a cat is more wild, like it's in the jungle where it gotta watch everything. And people perceive that as scary. No, go Google it. A cat is primal. So it's God didn't make it scary. The cat, you misunderstand it. A cat is primal. So it advances with caution. Every little thing, it moves, because that's what it takes to live in the jungle. Every little thing. So with that being said, I proceed in the jungle in a primal nature. That's how I move. And I'll survive while you think I'm scared. And you won't. You'll proceed in foolishness and die. You know what I'm saying? Because what's in your mind more is trying to prove something. See, that's the streets. The streets gonna try to prove who they are. I'm not. I just ID myself. So understand the difference. I don't prove anything. I ID myself. So listen, this is like my disclaimer, right? So that you understand what level I'm on. So you can't say I didn't tell you. You can't say you misunderstood more than anything who I was. See, a street nerd, and I listen. It's an epidemic of street nerds. So it's not just one person. A street nerd is a person that loves to break down these theatrics of what happened in the streets and all these different things. And you got criminals that don't really engage in all of that. I mean, that's more of a byproduct of the hip hop culture and everything like that. Yeah, it really is. You know, with all these beefs with different rappers, et cetera, woo woo, right? And then you got some criminals that don't want to break down any theatrics. They have no desire to do it. They only talk enough about politics to survive, and that's it. That's all they're interested in. Whoever they got to talk about to survive, and whatever is going on, and whoever's against them, or whatever. You know, that's all they don't care about all these different theatrics and what happened to this person, and what they did and what they did. And there's people that get off on it. They love it. They love it. Most of these rappers love the street theatrics, you know, the street politics. And there's some people that are bona fide criminals that don't like it. They don't like it. They don't like politics. You know what I'm saying? And so they don't hold it in high esteem. Really, and when you don't do that, all you're thinking about is the psychology of the next man, as opposed to his history and whatever he done and what he didn't do and what he did do. I don't care about that. I'm looking at his psychology. And if you think you can try him, you probably can't. But you're going to talk about all these things that take away his credibility when at the same time he's still a threat. And that's the bottom line. So the street nerd is stuck on the theatrics, the history, et cetera, but this person is still a threat today. So that's the bottom line. You won't survive playing with this person. While you talking about his history and whatever, you talking about me and whatever, you're not going to survive playing with me. That's it. And it don't matter what my history is. And see, a person that is from the jungle, that proceeds as in the jungle, you proceed with caution. Because you proceed considering this person is a threat today. And that's all that matters. And anybody else that's stuck on anything else is a street nerd. That's what I call them, street nerds. You got nerds in every category. A nerd is someone that, a nerd is not necessarily a smart person. You know that, right? That's what you thought growing up. No, a nerd is someone who is a compulsive, obsessive, excessive with one subject matter. Okay? In a nutshell. Okay, that's just a quick definition. That's a person that's obsessed with a certain thing. They apply themselves to this one subject matter or hobby or whatever. And you could be a basketball nerd. You know what I'm saying? You could be a golf nerd. You could be a hip hop nerd. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to apply yourself to and everybody know this definition because it's more common these days to put the definition of nerd in the context of somebody being, you know, like a weed nerd. A weed nerd gonna know all about the strains and the levels of THC and all the stuff me and you wouldn't even think about. You just gonna hit the blunt. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna think about all this guy, this level of THC and this strain, and you know they can mix this and not. You know, you hear him these days. That's a weed nerd. Do you care about that? The main thing you gonna check out is the strain, and you know, okay, this strain and I had that before. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Are you gonna sit down and have a whole powwow about? I mean, you might go into it a little bit when you get high, you know, but other than that, you gonna move on. A weed nerd ain't. They gonna sit up and talk about it all day. Yeah, man, you know, I tried this and I tried that, and it's 2 hours later. Yeah, you know, back in the day, they still talking about weed. That's a weed nerd. Not a weed head. You a weed head. They a weed nerd. You a street dude. They a street nerd. Okay, you do crimes, but they a street nerd. You smoke weed, but they a street nerd. You see the difference? Okay, so that's basically what it is, man. And I'll be honest with you, man. You can find people that made all kind of mistakes as a street person, and they're still a threat. No, hold up. You can find a person that made all kind of mistakes in the streets, and they still a threat. That's the tightest person. That's the person that's gonna survive. They made all kind of mistakes. They made lame mistakes, right? But you still proceed with caution. Because it's some people who are arrogant, once they heard certain things about you, they think they can proceed arrogantly, and they find out the hard way they couldn't. You were still a threat. They thought because of what they heard, they could proceed arrogantly. Like they ain't gotta even think about the other stuff that they think about with other street cats. They ain't gotta even think about that. Because of all the stuff they heard. And they play themselves. Because you still was a threat. They heard all this stuff from your family. They heard all this stuff from about you. And they played themselves because you still was a threat. They thought you was down on your luck. They thought you was a bum. And they played themselves because you still was a threat. And that's what happened to them. That's what happened to half of these casualties in the grave. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to go listen to other people. See what I'm saying? Getting caught up in the street nerds. You're going to listen to these street nerds and hear all this stuff, right? And you're going to think, the average person is going to make a determination that, this is a sucker. I can do what I want to do. Oh, this is a sucker. I can just say what I want to say. This is a sucker. I can just, and you know what? If you talk about me, listen, God gonna send you a test and see what you made of. If you talk about me and what I've been through, God gonna know. He gonna see, it's gonna alert God, and God gonna see that you talking low key about me, right? Right. God gonna know. And guess what, buddy? Guess what? He gonna send a test your way, buddy. He gonna send a test your way. Because see, what you really don't want to accept is I can talk about the streets, but the streets can't talk about what I do. Well, talk about a prophet. What a prophet do? I mean, it's common to talk about the streets. I mean, all you gotta do is do a couple crimes and be around a couple real dudes. I mean, you can't stop people from doing that. Especially now. See, you the type that want to stop people from talking about the streets. You the type that want people to stop talking about the streets if they not active. But people done lived it though. People done caught felonies though. People done been arrested though. Ask NYPD about me. Weapon charge. And see, here's the thing. As you grow up in the streets, you learn from your mistakes. While people try to hold you to your mistakes that you made in the streets. Things they thought was flaws in your story as a street person. They gonna try to hold you to that. But you done grew past that and you ain't gonna make the same mistakes twice. And you still a threat. That's what I'm saying. So then you gotta understand that no street person is perfect. I can show you flaws in people's stories. Street people, nothing's perfect. Which means even an attempt to be a thoroughbred, I still can show you mistakes. It might not be major mistakes, but it's still questionable as far as a thoroughbred because you're imperfect. You're not gonna be perfect as a thoroughbred person. So if you like to play the game of being this head honcho, like. And calling people out, I mean, I guarantee you there's flaws I can show you in your story. I can show you flaws. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what we worried about. What we worried about is if somebody's a threat today, that's now the only reason I put my mouth on people because they not a threat that they project themselves to be. That's what I'm talking about. But even with that being said, I still take precaution because you got lames out here who just want the reputation. Lames that want reputation. You got a whole different animal out here, buddy. And so you could be right and you still could, this person still could be a threat. You could be absolutely right, but he's a threat. And see, that's the real full master. Now, do I sound like a student to you? I don't. So stop playing with me like I'm a student out here, like I'm the Karate Kid and you Mr. Miyagi. No, there is no Mr. Miyagi. I don't have no Mr. The only Mr. Miyagi is Jesus Christ. Jesus made me who I am. He made me the sensei I am. And I listen to Sun Tzu. That's one of my masters. That's one of my earthly masters, Sun Tzu. Because I studied the art of war. I study real war, chess moves in war. I don't play theatrics and checkers. See, many of you could be senseis. It might be, but you play checkers in the streets for old time's sake. You play checkers in the streets for old time's sake. You out here putting your mouth on politics that you way past, and you shouldn't even be putting your mouth on them politics. The only reason I have to come down here, and I put my chessboard out in the hood. If you don't know how to play, you don't know how to play. And that's an indication you shouldn't be playing with me. Well, you shouldn't be playing with somebody who know how to play chess and you can't play. You shouldn't be playing with somebody who know how to play spades and you can't play spades. They're going to get you off the board. But you live and you grow as a person, right? Okay. And that's all of us. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if you're so much of a street nerd and you can act casual and you're still a street nerd because it's by principle. It's by perspective. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at these little things. You're talking about these little things, these little wineries and things. And the truth is the person is showing too much indications of principles and mentality. And that's it. That's all I got to show to the streets. That's all I got to show. Because a street person going to say, you know what? I'm going to keep it 100. I made some mistakes. As a street person, when I was younger, I made some mistakes that don't haunt me, but you know, I wouldn't make that same mistake twice. How many times you done said that? Okay, I learned from that. I grew as a person. I'm not the same person. As far as street people, I'm not gonna make that same mistake twice. You know what I'm saying? But you still who you are, right? Right. You don't get it taken away because you made a mistake. And some people is like that. The street nerds are trying to take it from you, and you're still a threat. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line, man. And so that's why I survive. You know what I'm saying? Because I count people who they are today. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying this to benefit me. I'm saying this to benefit the whole perspective of street principles as a whole. You know, if you out in the streets homeless, you can't say, that's a sucker. And it might be, but at the same time, guess what? You gotta keep your eye on that sucker, don't you? Yeah, that part. You gotta keep your eye on that sucker, don't you? Even though that you might feel like that person lacked street principles. Some people don't care. And guess what? They'll still kill you. That's what I'm saying. So now you got a whole breed of people that don't live by our principles, but they still could be threats. Now you see what I'm saying? So that's why, so how far do we go with it when it don't, some people don't care, it don't apply to everybody. We proceed with caution just like a primal animal defeating anything that stands in our way. Now some people say it goes without saying that that's what you're gonna do. No, you take your guard down for who you perceive as a sucker. You'll sit there and talk to them in their face like they no threat. So you can't say it goes without saying, because when you find what you perceive to be a sucker, you put your mouth on them, you do everything. You say whatever. You'll sit there and argue with them right in their face because you think, oh, this is a sucker. Okay, I put my guard down and I'm a swag out on this person. You know what I mean? You gonna go all the way in on this person and it ain't gonna be no threat. You don't know that. You don't know if that person got a weapon on them right there. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. And then here's the thing. Like some people, they get too, how I put this? They got two stories. I'll put it like this. As far as the streets, they got the initial story when they started from a kid all the way up to a certain age. And that's one story. And that's the main story they're going to talk about a lot, right? That's when they're going to tell you, yo, I did this, I did that, you know what I'm saying? My first charge, the first time I sold crack, et cetera, woo, right? Then it's gonna be a second time, in some cases, a second story. Now some cats got to stick to that one story and they don't build another story because they went to prison, they came out, they got themselves together, they got kids, they got out the streets, right? But then there are some people, for whatever reason, They build a second story of the streets. And my point is this, they built more credibility than the first story. You stuck on the first story, and they building more credibility on the second story as a street person. So what you're focused on more is the first story. When they came up as a kid, how they came up, etc., etc. They done built a whole nother story because of life. Life done presented it to them, and they got credibility. They done started interacting. Anytime you start interacting with the streets, this is the truth. When you start interacting with the streets, you gonna build credibility. Especially if you in politics like I'm in politics. Okay, so when I win, when I overcome everything you talk about, that's credibility. And you didn't look at it like that. Yes, it is. Absolutely. So what you thought was because you're not really savvy with the streets, including the police. Police can't talk these street theatrics. I mean, they can't talk these logistics of the streets. No, don't expect them to. All they're gonna do is try to see with their intuition what they perceive to be a gangster versus someone that's petty. And see, they another one that will size you up the wrong way and be slipping. Because you got some people that don't care about how they come off in their appeal and how they come off with the culture, and they just a straight up soldier. I can show you soldiers that look like geeks, soldiers that look like nerds, and they don't carry themselves like street people, but they are armed, they know how to shoot guns, they will neutralize targets. So if you're a type of person that has this narrow perspective of what it is, for what a threat is, and you go by these the external outward appearance, you're gonna be looking at somebody that maybe served in the military, and they look like a nerd, and they can kill you, they can neutralize you as a target. And you just try this person, just how he look. You know what I'm saying? And this person know how to shoot guns, they can break down guns, put them back together, everything. So if you're a person that will survive in the jungle, you can't even go by external anymore. I'm telling you, this dude down here in Louisiana is the one that proved it the best. He said it the best. This dude was around killers, right? You know what I'm saying? This is Louisiana, right? So this dude was like, this dude was saying, he was just sitting out just talking, like, you know what I mean? You know how dudes do. You know, and he was saying, as far as how you see people and read people and try to size people up, based on their appearance and how they carry themselves and what they got on, he said all of that is out the window. This dude said this like 3 or 4 years ago. That has changed 3 or 4 years ago, and you still got black people out here trying to read people. That's old, because now you got these young kids out here, they got skinny jeans on, they look like little chicken neck punks, right? But they got Dracos, they got all kind of guns. You ain't seen it yet? When you actually see the footage of somebody that was shooting somebody and the dude got like skinny jeans on, I done seen it already, bro. Like these kids out here now, man. Look, them kids got skinny jeans. They got a whole different personality. They be doing questionable stuff, hugging on each other, playing like, I mean, you know what I mean. Doing all kinds of stuff that's suspect to us from the old school. But these kids is ready to go, bro. These kids got guns, Dracos, everything. So you can't size them up and say, yo, that's a punk. Let me teach him a lesson. Let me knock him out right quick. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, boom. You got the best of them. Guess what, though? Guess what? He felt humiliated and he want to kill you. And what you gonna do? You gonna think like old school, like he gonna take that butt whooping and then he gonna get into the theatrics of it. We gonna talk about it forever, ever. Nah. He wanna come back and kill you. Cause kids can't take butt whoopings like they used to. Now me, I can get beat up and not pull a gun on somebody because it don't call for it. If you lost a fight, you lost a fight. That don't mean you're a lame. You can't beat everybody. And even these dudes that talking, even if you fight back, some dudes can beat you. You can't win. You can't beat everybody. Who think they can beat everybody in a fight, a boxing match? I mean, just even as a boxer, let's look at it. As a boxer, you can't beat everybody. Okay, so then out here in these streets, you fight somebody, you might lose. Okay, so with that being said, even if you do fight back, you might have to take a butt whooping where somebody got the best of you. And guess what? Guess what? If you don't have no manhood, you're gonna pull a strap on them. You gonna do something. Instead of taking that butt whipping, you lost. That's what it was. Now, do it mean that you a lame because you lost? No, we ain't in high school. In high school, they'll say you're a lame if you lost a fight. But I mean, as a real man, I know you can't win every fight. It don't matter what your heart is and where your heart is at. You can't win every fight. You can't win every fight. And you could apply that to any other situation. You can't win every single struggle, every single situation. I mean, but you're still a threat, right? And that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Because see, if somebody break you down and break your will, wait, you're not still a threat out here. You're not carrying, you don't have no weapons, you don't have nothing, you change your whole tune. That's when somebody's won, right? But if you're still a threat, how they win? It's still the same problem. See, as soon as how I carry myself, people think, because they think I'm procrastinating, I'm scared, but I'm planning everything perfect. And it's for other reasons that I'm planning everything. Like, for example, I need to get medicine from the hospital, right? But I had like 3 bottles of the medicine that I take, so I didn't need it. While other people thought whatever they thought, that wasn't the truth. The truth was I had so much medicine because when I fast, I don't have to take it because my body works on my body, so I don't have to take the medicine while I fast. So that's how I piled it up. That's how I stockpiled it, because I wasn't using it when I was fasting. You know what I'm saying? Because my body works on itself. So a smart person, why take medicine when my body works on itself? If my body works on itself, I don't need to take the medicine because my body is working for me. I don't need the medicine to work for me because my body is working for me when I'm fasting, because it's going to work on myself. It's going to do a lot of different stuff. It's going to turn around when it realizes I'm not eating. My body's going to work on itself, so it slows everything down in your immune system and everything, and it won't flare up because your body's working on it. So that being said, I like stockpile my medicine, and people probably thought, oh, he's not even going to the hospital anymore because I didn't need to. So now I'm just getting around to doing it. I had a bone to pick with the whole hospital because they was gang stalking me in the hospitals. So now they got a strike with the nurses in New York, right? They went on strike. Checkmate. I won. All I needed was the hospital field to feel me, because they played along with these Freemasons and these secret society. They played along with them the last time I went there, and I didn't forget that. And I always want a revenge for it. God gave me revenge because now here in New York, these nurses is on strike. It's causing a whole bunch of problems in all these major hospitals in New York. That's my revenge. Checkmate. For you playing with me the last time I was there. Okay, I'm not gonna play no games. I'm gonna get my revenge every time. I'm gonna do it God's way. So see, as you can see, I'm still on my job, which means I'm still a threat. Now I can go back there and look you in your face, and something happened to the whole hospital community, didn't you? Okay, bit that part. Now we can do business. Now I can come back in there, and you playing yourself if you thought you could play with me for free. You playing yourself in a super duper way. You playing yourself in a super duper way. And that's it. I'm always give revenge, but I'm good. I'm healthy. You know what I'm saying? I'm always give revenge. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is. I don't play with. See, don't assume that because these people work for the police or they work for the hospitals that they above you. Man, when you break these people down and you sit across the table from them people, they got no principles. White America is good for hiding behind being police, being in these authoritative positions. But when you sit across the street, when you sit across the table from them, they have no principles. They don't know about life. They don't know. They don't know the things that I'm just telling you about. They don't have no street smarts. Street smarts doesn't just apply to the hood. Street smarts is wisdom, basically, in essence. It's wisdom. It doesn't just apply to the streets. It's how you do business. It's how you. It's for your job. It's for your relationships. It's for everything. We just learned it. Many people from the streets, and then you start applying wisdom to every area of your life, with your kids, everything. Okay, so I know they ain't got no wisdom. You know how I know? Because you playing with me. That's how I know. Well, if you had wisdom, you wouldn't even be playing with me. That's how we know you don't got no wisdom. So we not gonna let you come out here and act like you some authority on top of me. We ain't scared. I ain't scared to die. And you gonna realize this. You got to suffer. Okay, that's it. And so now we know we playing a game of jealousy. It ain't about none of that stuff that it once was about. It's about you being jealous, and now you stuck on stupid like a rabid dog that we gotta put down. See, in the South, when a dog is rabid with rabies, it ain't nothing you can do for the dog, right? Even though you love the dog dearly, the dog has rabies. And you know, you can sit there and rub the dog, comfort the dog, try to feed the dog. You could try to put him in the same environment that he was in and try to make him appear to be normal. You could put other little dogs to do the dogs around the community that he likes and put them in the yard with him. And you could do all this different stuff to make the dog feel comfortable. You can give him his favorite blanket. You can give him his little thing he can lay on or whatever, you know what I mean? You can give him his favorite bones. You can go get his favorite snacks. You know what I mean? You can get him his favorite meal. He can sit there and watch a little show. You might be more advanced with your pet. He might have a little TV show or something he likes and he responds to. You can do all of that. And if that dog has rabies, it's not going to work out. Okay? These police and these Freemasons have rabies in their brain against me. Okay? Listen, that's what it is. And it ain't nothing we can do for them. Ain't nothing we can do for them. We got to put them down. In the South, we say put them down. You got to put a dog down when it has rabies. It's nothing you can do. Because a dog that got rabies is going to turn on you, might bite you, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You can't do anything for this dog. The dog you once knew is gone. It's the same thing with America. The America you once knew is gone. They rabid. R-A-B-I-D, rabid. Okay, they got rabies, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like a zombie. You know what I mean? Once, like in the world of The Walking Dead, once you have a rabbit or a zombie type person, it's over. That person just has to die. It's over for him. If you don't look at it this way, you tell me what it is. They are the closest things to a zombie that's just gone. Like, it was nothing we can do for them. You still normal, me, you still like on The Walking Dead. I had the series. I had the second season of The Walking Dead. So I was on it before everybody else was. Before all the other seasons came out, I was most stuff that came out, I was just buying it and taking a chance on it before everybody else did. So before people became corny and was on all the Walking Dead and all these other things, I was already like just buying it to see what it was about, you know. And so I've studied that world. I know what the Walking Dead world is. This post-apocalyptic world or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically what we're coming to with America. You know what I'm saying? Because people are just rabid. They're rabid in their mind. They got rabies. They're not gonna stop. So what we're gonna do is just shut down the system on them. If you don't know how we're gonna beat these people, because you think it's so many of them, how we gonna beat them is the systems have to be shut down of America. It has to be. God's gonna do it. We ain't gonna have to do it. God is gonna do it, and the systems are gonna be shut down. Because once the systems are shut down, all that going on out there is nothing. That is nothing. They ain't gonna, what it's gonna be? If you ain't got no system, most people gonna say you might as well die. Because the world you knew is like now it's like The Walking Dead. It's no functioning society. It's no functioning community that's in the workforce of America. That's gone. It's like a standstill world. You know what I mean? It's everything is standstill, and you're just surviving through the standstill world we live in. It might not happen exactly like that, but the systems will be shut down. Because even if you believe in the mark of the beast, how America is not going to break down with the mark of the beast? Oh, you thought they were just going to transition from this position to the mark of the beast? Nah. What's going to happen is this community is going to be so desperate to survive, if God allows the mark of the beast, that they join a one world government. Because the South is the resistance to something like that. People in Texas and people in Florida, they ain't gonna go give into some mark of the beast or some one world government, they're gonna say this is our country. Why should we give up our sovereignty to join the rest of the world, right? So it's not all these cowboys in Texas. They ain't gonna just say, well, let's just join the rest of the world and be on an even playing ground with the rest of the world. How is most Americans gonna just willingly volunteer to be on the even playing ground with the rest of the community? Think about that. And you got the upper hand. So how is it gonna happen? It's gonna be, this country is gonna be so desperate to survive, they join the rest of the world. So it's about to be pitiful. It's about to be, get ready for a pitiful community. Get ready for a pitiful state of America, because it has to happen. It has to. So all they doing is trying to survive. All they doing is trying to kill certain people like me and you, so that it's just for their own pleasure, just for their own satisfaction. Okay, so once you play that game with God, because we represent God, right? Once you play that game with God, it's all over, bro. It's all over. We already know that's what it is. Okay, you just a player hater, and you messed up the community, and you want me to die, and I'm not gonna die. That's what it is. I'm aware of that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm ready. That's why I keep arms on me. I don't care what Christians talking about in America. I don't care what you talk about. I keep arms on me just like a Christian soldier would in a country where he being opposed because he a Christian. Okay, they gonna do the same thing. They gonna carry weapons and everything, and they ain't gonna think nothing about being a sinful person. They gonna think about protecting themselves against a threat. See, some of y'all are just stuck in a cartoon world where when things change, you just expect them to stay the same. You're not able to adjust to the changes of the world. You live in a cartoon world. You know what I'm saying? You're not able to say, okay, this stuff changed. Okay, I adjust to it. Now I carry arms just in case somebody try me, right? That's it. I mean, and I'm able to talk the language of what is going on. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to also, the Bible says, be angry and sin not. So I can be angry and sin not. So I can express anger. I can express anger and not sin. Okay? So, we just not gonna let people box us in, and I know they lames. I mean, you trying to box me in, but you can't do nothing with me. You know what I'm saying? I proved that. You tried to box me in, but you can't do nothing with me. That's how we know I outrank you, because you put me in these situations, and I outrank you. You can't do nothing with me. I'm too heavy. I just bust through you. I'm still affecting the community. The community is still suffering. I mean, it's the same thing. It's going on. It's going down. You know what I'm saying? So, but what you doing? Trying to see what you can do. The same washed up stuff you was doing last year. While we doing new stuff. Oh, you want to hear the new stuff I'm doing? I just sent $1 million down to South America. I sent $1 million. I never did that. I didn't do that last year. I didn't do that in 2024. I didn't do that in I already hit the ground running for the year. I've already done something I never done in my life, where I made a transaction that equated $1 million. I made a transaction that equates another one $73,000. Yeah. Okay. So I'm already in the first month of 2026. I'm already doing stuff I ain't never done. You know what I'm saying? While these people doing the same thing, we don't take nobody like that seriously, man. You know what I'm saying? We don't take that seriously. But I still take precaution. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. And see, when you move like that, listen, buddy, you're gonna have it all together. You don't never get arrogant enough to let your whole guard down for anybody, no human being, period. You don't get so arrogant. You know how many people got smoked out here being arrogant, and you let your guard down? You know what I'm saying? With somebody who you perceive to be a sucker, like I don't let my guard down for nobody. That's how you know I don't underestimate nobody. You know why? Because I stay armed. If I was arrogant and I just went by the fact that you a sucker, then I'd be walking around unarmed. Because I already perceive you to be someone that is beneath my principles. So you know how many people got killed like that? Just because you perceive them to be suckers don't mean you still don't carry your arms and you carry your weapons and proceed with caution. So see, it's no way you could take it from me who I am when I talk like this. Because you know what? This can be applied to anybody who moves out here in the street. So what else are we talking about? Money, okay, we can talk about money, but that's a different situation from the streets. I mean, it kind of is. I mean, some people get money in the streets and some people don't. But these things still have to be applied. You make enemies in the streets and you broke. I mean, and then what? We ain't talking about money. We talking about the same thing I'm talking about right now. So you got to be careful, even when you talk about all these, females, these hoes out here. They gonna be, they gonna talk about, they gonna think the best is the people with the most money, because that's what a hoe gonna do. But a man, a man's gonna look at the principles. They can respect a homeless man. I done sit around and talk to homeless people many times in my life and got wisdom from them. You notice women don't really do that. So, because a woman is gonna feel like if you a man, then why you on the streets? Why can't you work? Why can't you do something? That's how most women think. That's how they wired to think. If you such a man and such a wise man, then why are you on the streets? I'm not saying it's simple, but it's just how they think. A man would take and glean wisdom from somebody homeless, because I'm gonna look at it, I'm gonna learn from your mistakes. I'm gonna learn from the things you've done wrong, and she could do the same thing, but she's not gonna look at it that way. So I could sit there and listen to this man, and I could be on top. I could have money in my pocket. I could have just came out the store and be good, right? But I'm gonna still listen to this person, because I'm gonna glean some wisdom. But us and men have that camaraderie anyway. No matter what stage of life we're on, we relate to each other. But women have more of a sisterhood. It's a tricky situation. But we relate to each other as men on any level of life. And most women don't do that. They got a sisterhood, but if you don't got yourself together, they gonna talk about you. Women gonna talk about you. They ain't gonna acknowledge you on their level. You know what I'm saying? They gonna think they need to care for you and that you sick and something wrong with you or something. A man gonna relate to a man. That's just how we are. That's how we are. That's how we built. So I can listen to a man that, is not on my same level besides money. You know what I'm saying? I can get, especially if he down here in the streets. And I ain't been in the streets in 10, 20 years. To me, the streets mean you subject to everybody on an even playing ground. If you're a rich rapper, you could be in the streets, but you're not in the streets, because everything don't apply to you like it once did. You might still find some problems, but you ain't gonna find it too easy than the average person. Especially if you stay around your way and your block, you ain't gonna have no problems, man. No, that's why you get to sit up like a street mogul, and talk about things and all that. Cause you got it good. Ain't nobody gonna bother you, man. You know what I'm saying? It's too much problems to come with it. And everybody know that. They ain't gonna mess with you. I'm not saying they won't argue with you and things like that as a man, because they'll feel like they still could do that, and they should do that. But as far as just like unnecessary stuff that we go through, like, that's how you know you're in the streets, because you're going through unnecessary stuff. If you ain't going through no unnecessary stuff, you are removed from the streets. In the minds of the people, we go through unnecessary stuff. But there's always a tit for tat reaction to even unnecessary stuff, But one thing about me and my situation is that nobody ain't really been through what I've been through. So it's easy for you to give me these, what I call perfect answers about what I should do, right? But you ain't been through what I've been through. Well, I don't trust none of these people. Well, I know they know about me, but they sitting back, right? So you ain't even gonna trust these famous rappers. No. I know they know about it. Okay then. So then how you gonna perceive that? You're black. They're not really vouching for you. How you gonna take that? And then they might be gambling and you know how street people are, head honchos are. They might just gamble on your life. You might be, and I figured they probably done that with me before. Gamble to see if he gonna live. Gamble if he gonna die. That kind of thing, right? Okay, now imagine me still holding in high esteem those same type of people, or seeing them as my comrades. You know what I'm saying? I don't see them as my comrades, no. The average person in America, I don't see as my comrade, because I know you in these politics. You know what I'm saying? And like I've been taught by somebody that was in the streets, you don't leave your people in the dark about anything. You don't leave your man in the dark. I've been taught those very words. So when I grew up and it became I was taught this when I was young, just being around my cousin that had went into the military, and then he came out, started doing drugs, and he probably did other things. He probably did robberies, a lot of other stuff. But, you know, when me and him settled, when I talked to him, the one thing he told me, never, listen, I don't keep nobody in the dark. You don't keep nobody in the dark. I ain't gonna keep you in the dark. Which means you don't even know what's going on. Anybody that keep you in the dark, you do not esteem them as your friends. You do not esteem them as your comrades, because it's a new generation to think, oh, I'm playing it. I'm not playing both sides. Some do play both sides, but some will say, well, you know, I'm playing it. I'm a referee in this situation. More so like that, right? I'm not choosing any side, but see, I'm feeding into the street theatrics of the situation. And it's people that get off on the street theatrics, right? Especially in New York. They get off on the street theatrics and they kind of seeing what you doing, seeing what they doing, seeing who's the best, seeing, you know, I already proved I'm the best. Y'all marry children as Americans. Checkmate. It's all over. Now, it's going to be hard for you. I'm going to have to sit you down. Like when you tell people bad news in the hospital, you got to sit them down, don't you? I got to sit you down. This is going to be heavy news. Your country has been marrying children since 1929. Okay? I know it's hard for you to deal with, but it's real. It's real. It's real. Now, a sucker is not going to come to terms with that. You're going to think, well, that's not us. It's your country. Of course it's not you. You're stating the obvious. You're Captain Obvious. Of course it's not you. But you are in a country that you depended on, that you take pride in. You are among people that has been marrying these children, which means you have to change the standard in your mind for what you enforce on. Well, it's only right. I mean, if you're in a country that marries children, you're going to be enforcing on pedophiles? No. The only way you're going to do that is if it's your own family. If somebody do something to your family, you know what I'm saying? Physically. I have to clarify that these days with these psychological weirdos. That's the only way you are going to enforce on anybody these days, knowing this country has been marrying children. It's the culture. So how can I act like this guy is such a monster, but what he would do, but what he would be doing would be parallel with the culture of marrying children. It's parallel with the culture. So imagine me looking at this whole environment where this country has been marrying children, and I just single out this one guy. I just single out this one dude and act like he's doing something that we don't do. Or he's doing something that this country doesn't do. Okay, so see, listen, man, listen. Just be honest. You didn't know. Okay, so now you got to change your whole worldview about America, and in my situation, and everybody's situation. You got to go back to the drawing board about all this stuff. Even Michael Jackson and R. Kelly and Bill Cosby, all these things, all these people that was questionable sexually. Now I got to go back and apply the fact that America was marrying children, but playing with these black people. But you was marrying children the whole time. You was talking about Michael Jackson. While you was talking about Michael Jackson and R. Kelly, you was marrying children. What I supposed to say? You was marrying children the whole time you was talking about R. Kelly. Now I'm gonna esteem that differently. Gail, Oprah Winfrey's friend, interviewing R. Kelly. Now how you feel knowing your country marries children? Now do you feel that's really a significant interview? I don't. That's an everyday person in an environment based on the environment that marries children. He's just a John Doe. That's John Doe. That's John Doe. That's Jane Doe. You married children to Jane Doe. Acting like she done something crazy. I mean, well, you married children. A real one has to acknowledge that. You listen, you so smart, you stupid, talking about, well, it ain't all of us. It's not us over here. Well, how you know it wasn't people in Brooklyn marrying children? Well, how you know people in Harlem wasn't marrying children? Well, how you know that? You don't know. All you know is there's 385,496 cases of child marriage in New York alone. And even though they got rid of it, those cases are still valid. That's all you know. You don't know where it came from in New York. You're not gonna know. They're gonna use discretion. They ain't gonna shout it from the rooftops. Hey, guess what, guys in Harlem? What? I'm marrying a child. Hey, guess what, guys in Bed-Stuy? What? Watch that. I'm marrying a child. So you think people gonna shout it from the rooftops? Of course not. So you don't know. But what we do know is it happened right here in the state of New York. 385,000. That's almost 500,000 children was married in New York. And you want to talk to me about pedophile? I'm not gonna listen. I'm not entertaining that. That's what I'm saying. And it's case closed. Now a sucker is what's messing up your community, where he want to talk about it after that. The sucker want to still talk about it. That's what's messing everything up. It's case closed. It's shut down. Once we know you marrying children right here in New York, that's it. Case closed. You just got rid of the child marriage. You just got rid of it. That means in the 80s, the 90s, y'all was marrying children right here in New York. All them good years, all that heyday, all that good stuff in New York, y'all was marrying children the whole time. Can you deal with it? Can you deal with it? You can't deal with it, can you? That's what I'm talking about. You should have knew America was doing stuff that you didn't know about. You should have knew they was doing way more, and this is what this is. This was the other stuff that they was doing when you thought you had it all figured out. That's all this is. This is all the other stuff. This is the other stuff. We always knew they was doing something that, and eventually we was gonna find this stuff out, right or wrong. If you the average black man, you knew there was some type of top secret stuff they was doing. Something we don't know about. Maybe not Area 51, maybe not some UFOs, but something. It's something else going on. Every man thought that. It's something else going on I don't know about that they doing. This is what it is. It was right there done in your face, because a real criminal, what a real criminal gonna do? A real criminal gonna do it right in your face. Oh, you ain't learned that from the old school? You ain't learned that from your peers? A good criminal gonna do it right in your face, because you ain't gonna expect it. So instead of doing a crime in the nighttime, I do it in the daytime. Your guard gonna be down. You ain't gonna expect that. And I'm gonna get away with it. You know why? Because you're gonna be expecting me to come at nighttime. I come in the daytime, you listen, your whole guard down. You know how many of these suckers walking around like they can't get their wig split in the daytime? You know how many suckers walking around like ain't nothing be done to them in the daytime? Oh, well, they'll kill me at nighttime, but not in the daytime. In daytime, I'm good. You notice people starting to get their wig split in the daytime? They getting their wig split in the daytime. Come on. You don't let your guard, I don't let my guard down. I don't care what time of day it is. Because many soldiers will take advantage of listen, if they think you slipping in the daytime, that's what they're going to do. They're going to get you. The biggest gangster the biggest street person y'all lost recently was Alpo. I know about Alpo. Y'all lost that dude Alpo. And when they trying to get him before, they were trying to get him a long time. And people were celebrating out here in New York. I heard, yeah. I think I saw something where they were drinking and everything. Champagne, I think. I seen people drinking. Like celebrating, I think I remember that, man. They were celebrating that dude being killed. That dude Alpo. So, you know, I don't want you to be under the impression that I don't know nobody. I'm oblivious like some of these other Christians might be. I'm not. Now you can see a Christian in New York, many of them don't know who Alpo is, man. They don't know that. The fact that I know that name should tell you something about me, right? That should tell you enough. That should tell you a little enough. Okay. This dude knows some names, you know what I'm saying? This dude goes beyond, okay, the petty criminal kind of people to being able to see Name some of these people that's moving around and maneuvering in the streets, right? And what happened to them? I keep my ears to the street. I'm gonna say more than anything, I keep my ears to principles of the streets. Because the only thing that changed from year to year, can you tell me what changes from year to year? We always say it's getting bad. We say it's crimes out here, whatever. But what makes it worse than last year or 10 years ago? What pinpoint what you think it is? What it is that makes it badder than 10 years ago? What's the difference? Same thing going on. People going on licks. People home invasions. You know what I'm saying? So what's the difference? They got the same guns, basically. What's the difference? People are quicker on. Now listen, give me credit. I'm the only one that can point out the difference. What's the difference? The difference is it's not even that it's more of it going on. No, that's not what it is. The difference is people are more quicker on the draw than last year or 10 years ago, which means they quicker to shoot you than 10 years ago. And that speeds up every year. Every year, people are quicker to shoot you. That's why if you are behind and you live in 2004 in your head and you think people gonna go back and forth with you, they not. They not going back and forth. I'm not going back and forth with nobody. Now you see what I'm saying? And that creates a whole different mentality with the principles. Principles get bred out of that. Out of every mentality comes the principles, where people are not sitting up going back and forth with nobody. And that changes from year to year. The only difference from this year, 2026 and 2016, is people are quicker on the draw. Meaning drawing their gun. They're quicker on the draw. That's it. That's the only difference. You still got the same dope game. You still got fentanyl. Fentanyl done flared up, but as far as the people and as far as violence, what has changed? People are quicker on the draw. They're quicker to shoot you than 10 years ago. So if you go out here in the real streets, right? The real streets, okay, yeah, that's where it's at. I mean, that's where the mentality is at. These suckers throughout even Brooklyn, you got suckers in Brooklyn. You got certain parts of Brooklyn that ain't the streets. They can play it like that. Just cause you here, a sucker gonna do that. He gonna come to Brooklyn and buy a t-shirt, say Brooklyn. He gonna be over here and think he in Brooklyn. This ain't no hard part of Brooklyn. This is just Brooklyn. This is just the city. Just like you got the city of San Diego. Every part of San Diego ain't hard. Every part of Brooklyn ain't hard. So only a person that's from out of town. Ironically, I'm from out of town, but most tourists they gonna hear Brooklyn and think the whole thing hard. The whole thing ain't hard. That's facts. Police is in certain parts of it, and that's facts. And on the strength of that. Hey, all of this is not moving like the streets. But when you go to the streets, how I put it, okay, so now over there, they're going to be quicker on the draw than 10 years ago. 10 years ago, okay, they might go back and forth. Now, 2026, ain't nobody doing all of that. Because they don't know what you're going to do. It's part of that too. I don't know if this person going to sit back and converse with me until we figure it out, or he might shoot off on you and spin off, shoot you and run off, just because there was a situation. So that's why only person I talk to is the clerk, the merchants at the bodegas and in these stores. That's all I talk to. I don't go in the stores talking to people. I don't go in stores talking to people. That's how stuff gets started. Listen, you could start out with innocent intentions, and so could they. And the next thing you know, for whatever reason, there's an argument, there's a situation. So I don't even talk to people. I want to look unavailable. I want to look unavailable to the whole community. I don't want you to even think you can talk to me. And so then it ain't gonna make sense when you try to talk to me, because I'm not talking to you. And I'm gonna play it just like that. You talking to me? I'm not talking to you. See, that's how New York, from the stuff I seen on TV, that's how it looked like New York used to be. You didn't talk to people. You didn't go in the store and talk to people. But if you, I would imagine you talk when it made sense. People talk when it doesn't make sense to people. Like, don't talk to me and it don't make sense. Now, if we in the store in the line and we're both talking about some product or something, let's just say the merchant is trying to get this certain product and I'm talking about it and he's looking around for it, and then a guy chime in and say, yeah, you know, I need that same thing. Okay, that's different. That's how black people do. You know what I'm saying? We sit back, okay, somebody else talking and then, yeah, I need that same thing. You ain't gonna just stand there. You know, in some cases you might, if you're in a certain attitude, mood. I mean, you might not say nothing when you say that. But most people gonna chime back, yeah, this works for me, You know what I'm saying? I need this, I need that, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I need this for that reason, whatever, you know? And then y'all have a little conversation, that's it. All right, y'all have a good night, all right, that's it. That's as far as it's supposed to go. That's a normal black situation. We gonna chime in when it makes sense. But going in stores and looking at people and you know, even staring at people, this is how I know New York has changed. It's not like that. People come in the store, they looking at you and looking in your face. I'm like, man, why are you even looking at me, man? I mean, it's not being arrogant, man. It's like it breaks the rules. It breaks rules. It gets misinterpreted. Makes sense? It gets misinterpreted. You can't say I acknowledge people. I explain my position. Somebody say, why you looking at me? I said, bro, I'm just acknowledging. I'm just looking around to see who was in it. I can't help but acknowledge somebody in front of me, right? That's it. That's all I do. Okay, I'm supposed to say, oh, okay, someone's right there, but I'm not going to look at them. I mean, you can acknowledge people without staring or looking at them. I don't make those mistakes. People look all in your face and everything, and then they get in your politics and all of that. And that's a death sentence, man. I mean, how I look at it in 2026, man, look, you deep in the evening, man. The sun is going down. Okay? Like the sun. The sun is going down, right? It's nighttime in the world. It ain't no time to be in somebody's politics and you don't know these people. Okay? No, man. I'm talking about, listen, it ain't no room for that clown game no more. That's why the gang stalking and all of that, that's finna dry up, man, in the streets. Because people gonna start whacking them people. They gonna get whacked. Yeah, you're gonna get whacked. I mean, it's just a matter of time. People have less tolerance for stuff like this. Okay? They're gonna be quick on the draw. I'm just gonna handle this. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna do that kind of stuff because they're quicker on the draw. That's the only thing that changes from year to year. People are quicker to shoot people than last year. They're quicker to shoot people than 10, 20 years ago. You go back in 2006, people moving around totally different. Right or wrong. Go back 20 years ago in New York, everybody moving around different. You barely in the 2000s. You still kind of got that 90 vibe. Think about it. You just 7 years into a new decade. You kind of still like the 90s. You know what I mean? Now here in 2026, man, it's not like the 90s. People are quicker on the draw. It's no room for these bozos. That's why you think I'm crazy. No, I'm quick on the draw, just like everybody else. You don't live in 2026. You in a time warp. There's some people, they pick how they want to live. They pick how they want to think. I'm serious. They pick how they want to think and how they want to interact with people. I don't do that. I look at the changes. I realize the changes. I understand the changes. And I adjust to that with every given year. Every given year, I adjust to the changes. That's how you do it. You don't sit up and pick how you want to move. You picking how you want to move, ain't you? That's true, man. That's true. That's why they getting whacked. You chose to be like somebody in 2004. Like you want to go argue and talk to people. And you know what I'm saying? You can't follow people and want to and follow them behind their threshold and play with people. You in 2004, buddy. And listen, I just adjusted to the situation. And listen, when you really listen to it from that ear, that tells you this is a person that is a primal person. I'm a primal man. I adjust to the changes. Does that make me a street person? No. I'm a soldier, and I'm gonna show you how. I'm gonna show you why, right? And how is that a street person? That's a person that's living in the streets. So you still adapt. You still adapt. You still apply principles. If you got to move through this, you still got to apply principles. You teach your children principles. Don't go to the store talking to everybody. And when they get in their teenage years, you show them how to move. You make sure they know how to move. You don't assume they know. Oh, he seemed tight. He seemed nah. You listen. You make sure, yo, when you go to them bodegas, don't be talking to everybody. Even them old heads. Don't talk to even them old heads. Don't talk to nobody. You go through there and get what you need, and it's better to be considered a jerk than some nice guy. I'd rather you consider me a jerk. Okay, I don't talk to nobody. That's okay. You're gonna take me more seriously. Unfortunately, in America, you get taken more seriously as a jerk than a nice guy. If I'm a jerk, you gonna wake up, because I'm not talking to you. I'm not interacting with you like everybody else. But if I move like a nice guy and everything, you know what I'm saying? Hey, talking to everybody, now you ain't gonna halfway take me seriously. I know what I'm talking about, man. If you a nice person, if you even inclined to be a good person, a good-hearted person, a nice-hearted person, you know what I mean, right? How many times people took that for granted? A lot of times, right? A lot of times they thought they can play in your lane, didn't they? That's what I'm talking about. So for me, I just rather you consider me a jerk. I'm not, but I don't talk to nobody. You know what I'm saying? And that's the right way to move through New York. You talking to everybody, man, I'm telling you, man, somebody's going to misinterpret that. They're going to misinterpret that. I'm telling you. They're going to misinterpret that. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can rob you or whatever. They can do something to you. That's what kind of people you dealing with, man. I don't listen. I don't talk to nobody, and I don't care how that's interpreted, because I sit back and watch how people move and look at the stuff they do. Look at the stuff they do. Stealing from me, breaking the door down. I had to pull my weapons. You know what I'm saying? And see, you thought you took it for granted. How I moved, I was quiet. You thought it was a game. I pulled my weapons on this person. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not doing it to flex. It's just I live in the jungle. I think like a person from the streets. Okay, if you bold enough to go through my threshold, you bold enough to get these weapons. That's it. That's all, bro. That's all. And I grow from every situation. I get heart from every situation. I got more heart from that. I get more heart from everything I do, especially when it applies to crimes or anything of that nature. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get more heart. I got more heart from that. I got more heart from than I had yesterday. You know what I'm saying? That's the good. See, and then once again, like I said, you get more credibility. You do. You grow as a person now. People know you. It ain't gonna be easy. You come playing around me like one of these little gay dudes. And that's what they thought in this building. There's a whole bunch of gay dudes they can play with. This dude was so bold. It's a cheap wooden door. The door is so cheap. He bust through the door and knocked part of the door out. And that's probably from the heat. The heat is so excessive in this room that it dried the door out. The door, that's what it really is. It's not that he was so strong. I'm just smart enough to know, hot as it is in this room, it dries the door out. Right? The door is dried out. Okay, so it's just easy to bust through because the door dried out. He bust through the door, put his hand in the door, and unlocked it. I told the manager I could have killed that person. And nothing he could say. It was nothing he could say. This person didn't say nothing, because if once I lock a door behind me, let me teach these suckers something that you don't know about the law. Once I lock a door behind me, even if this is considered a shelter, once I lock that door, this is considered my private place, not just for me to strip down. This is considered my place of security. That door is for security. If you breach through that door, I have legal right to kill you. because that is interpreted as a threat against my security in my life. That's how they gonna look at it. If you lock a door and somebody come through it, think about it. What that means? What do that mean? How do you interpret that? You interpret that as a threat against your life. That's how you interpret that. If they don't stop at knocking at the door and they bust through a door, what that tells you that is? That's a threat. And so the law is set up that if anybody passed through a threshold where you live, where you have secured yourself behind a door, and that door is security. It represents your security and privacy, right? Right. If anybody passes through that, by law in America, I have legal right to kill anybody come over my threshold. And guess what? I would have been doing videos here. I would have still been here. Unless Haza felt it was so bad they wanted to terminate my situation. They could do that, say, well, it was just so bad, we don't want to deal like that, right? But I mean, they probably would keep me here because I could go up the ladder of the chain of command and say, hey, I was defending myself. Why should I be punished for it? I'm not a stupid person. Why should I be punished for defending myself? I'm here. What? I gotta live. Okay? I'm gonna defend myself. That's what I'm gonna do. That's right. I go over the head of any group, of any organization, and I'm gonna say I was in that situation defending myself. This person passed on my threshold. I had legal right to kill him because anybody passed on that threshold, I don't wait to say or what they wanted. I don't have to ask what they want. I don't have to go by your opinion of what I should have done because you don't know what that person would have done. You don't know what kind of threat that person poses. Could have pulled out a knife. Could have did anything. How I know? How I know what he got going on? I don't know what he got going on. And that's how you carry yourself. And he backed up out that door. He backed up off my threshold. I didn't have to say, listen, I didn't have to call nobody. He backed up off me. He backed up off me. You know why? Because I'm always ready. Just I don't never slip. Because I live like this. And people don't understand this. Okay, if you live in the streets, you're going to be an armed person, man, because you're out there in the streets. That's how I got used to it. You'll rarely see me without arms and things like that. You'll rarely see me without that. Because I lived in the streets where I'm vulnerable to the whole community. Anybody can do anything to me. So how you going to live primal if you live in the streets homeless enough, especially through tough cities. I slept on the streets of Los Angeles. I was sleeping on the streets of Los Angeles. I'm a whole different animal, man. You ain't lived on those streets of Los Angeles where you're vulnerable to the whole community. I don't play no. That's what I'm saying, man. And even though at that time, I don't know if I had a weapon or not at that particular time, but I was working on getting me a gun, right? That's what I'm saying. You can look at it through any situation. But I don't know if I don't know. I don't want to say I did or not, because I might have had a little something. Maybe. I don't know. But I definitely was working on getting a gun, and I was sleeping on the streets, and I was conscious of that. You conscious of the danger at all times. You know what I'm saying? You sleeping on the streets of LA, Los Angeles? Who are you to say what can happen? Do you see what I'm saying? So then you take precaution. Or you're gonna be the person on the news, oh, I would have never thought that would have happened. That's gonna be you. Somebody talking about that, they thought that would have never happened to somebody, but it happened to you. So the wisest master says, okay, I'm not gonna be this person that dies in this unique way. No, I'm going to be ready for all situations and unique situations in any situation. And if you live on the streets long enough, man, whether thugs or gangsters give it to you, you're out there. You're going to become a person with intuition and street wisdom, living on the streets, just living on the streets. So when somebody passed over my threshold, man, however you think, this is how I think. Somebody that lived in California, lived in Los Angeles, lived in Florida, with all them rednecks and stuff down there in Florida, I live all around this stuff that people scared of. So while you think it's an act, it's not. God knows it's not. No, I don't act. I live like this to protect myself. It's some people that's really like that, bona fide. That's all it is. It ain't nothing else to it. It's not. I don't do it for hip hop. I don't do it for the gram. I don't flex for the gram. I don't flex for YouTube. I'm showing you how you got to carry yourself. I'm showing you why I carry myself the way I do. All these ignorant folks, all these ignorant people, and that's that. That's a person you know live in the streets. That's what I'm. See what I'm saying? It's full circle to my point, man. And listen, can anybody take that from you? Can Jay-Z or Dame Dash take that from you? You out here in the streets. How he gonna take that from you? How he gonna take that from you and you out here, and you gotta move out here? So you see what I'm saying? That's real life. How he gonna take it from you? That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't play those nerd games where people like talking about this and that and all what the this. Bottom line, I'm still out here. Bottom line, I'll stay armed out here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna advance my arms, and I'm gonna get more advanced arms, and I have the principle of arms in my mind. That's it. That's all that matters. I'm out here. I have to deal with this stuff. I have to deal with these people. Okay, and that's how it is. So imagine somebody trying to, you see what I'm saying? You're in the real world. Imagine them trying to take you out of that. Like you ain't living it, but you are living it, literally. I mean, come on, man. Some people grew up, man. Some people grew up, and some of us didn't. I'm not directing that towards the people I named. I'm just saying that's in general. And the reason why I'm even saying Dame Dash is because he talked about somebody getting punched in the face. You know what I'm saying? And he said it was a long time ago, whatever. Well, then why bring it up then? Because it's not taking nothing from that person. Because in some way you want to take credibility. That's basically it. You're questioning the credibility. It's either one or the other. You question the credibility, and the bottom line is that person's still a threat, though. That person is still a threat. And that's how I look at it. I mean, if you want to look at how prestige the person is as a street person, are you looking at, how good the person look, and you want to talk about who's the best? Okay, see, that's people that's involved in who's the best out here, and who and how did this person move, and what they do, and all of this and that. And the person is still a threat. That person is still a threat that he was talking about. I'm pretty sure. Cameron's still a threat. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line, bruh. That's the bottom line. And he knows that, and they know that. You know what I'm saying? So, me, I look at it as the jungle. That's how I look at everything. You know what I'm saying? And if you talk about something from the past, that's kind of immature. That's what kids and ignorant black people do. They're going to talk about stuff from the past, and the truth is, you're a whole different animal. I'm growing every day. I'm growing every single day. So if you talk about something from 2 years ago, and you ain't been around me in 2 years, you slipping. You slipping. If you one of them people that think about 2 years ago, you know how much I done changed in 2 years? Now if you a senior citizen, or you an old person that's out the way, you're pretty much the same. You smoke weed in the house, you do things, you drink in the house, whatever. You turn up in the house. We out here in these elements, man. We out here in these streets. We going through the changes of the streets, with the streets. We ain't no escape. We don't have no way around it. Now imagine that person trying, and you're constantly with the streets. Not him. I'm just talking in general. Now, you going by what you heard 2 years ago. But since 2 years, this person has still been back and forth through the streets. Like me, I'd have been to California last year. I was living in California. I was living in North Carolina. I lived in 3 states. 3 states in 1 year. I was in North Carolina, California, and New York in 1 year. And that was last year, right? Now imagine 2 years ago, you going by who I was 2 years ago, and I just went through California. I'm gonna be a little bit sharper. I done been through some stuff over there. I almost got in a fight with a dude over there in California. Okay, so and you can't say what would have happened. You can't say, this person has arms, different things to harm people. I can't even tell you what would happen because every fight is unique. I don't know. All I know is I'm going by the principles I'm supposed to go by. That's all I know. And when you exercise those principles, you're going to be stronger than last year. And then that person wound up shaking my hand. We shook hands and it was over with. You know what I'm saying? It was mutual respect. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. That's California. Now imagine me coming back to New York and people trying me like I was like 2 years ago. You see what I'm saying, right? You see what I'm saying? I'm growing as a person. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know people, you don't know where they come from, and they growing as a person, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna get washed up. You're gonna get washed up because they're more fierce, they're more ferocious than last year and the year before that. So that's really how it is. You know, you check with somebody 2 years later, they're a different animal. Not for the worse, in some cases, for the better. They're sharper, they're wiser, they're stronger. They've been through more things. They've learned from those things. They've grown from those things. You know, so, you know, if a person is acting like talking about 2 years ago, I have to chalk that off. I'm saying in my case, because I have been treated like people act like they're going to talk about stuff that happened before. I mean, come on, man, listen, bro. You know how much I have changed from stuff that happened before? You know how much I've changed from stuff that happened before? Whether it was yesterday or a month ago or a year ago. You know how much I've changed from stuff that happened before? Because I adjust myself in every situation. Okay, I'm going to move differently. I critique in a positive way. Okay, this next time, I'm moving like this. I mean, next time somebody come through that threshold, I might not wait. I might not back them up off that door, just standing my ground. I might be a little more proactive about it. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm serious. And if you stick somebody in a bubble, talking about 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago, that makes you a sucker. You're not in the jungle. You're not among us. No, you're not. Man, how you gonna be talking about what somebody did 10 years ago? That you know how much change a person goes through in 10 years these days too? These days? Man, stop playing, bro. If you one of them clowns talking about something that happened 2-3 years ago, I even say the 2 years. I started with 2 years. If you talk about something happened 2 years ago, bro, listen, you a clown. You a sucker. You keep cause the thing is, man, people go through so much changes, man. That's why. And usually people are more ferocious, more dangerous, more fierce as a warrior, which means they're quicker on the draw than last year or 2 years ago. What, 2 years ago was what, 2024? Yeah. I done been, last year, 2025, I was everywhere, I told you. I went to California, I went through the Florida, North Carolina, California, North Carolina, back here to New York. That's what I'm saying. How could I be the same person? Because you slow in your mind. You think, listen, yeah, I gotta call it how it is. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you're a type of person that don't constantly update yourself like a computer, you an old computer. You're not updated on nothing. You're not updated on me. You're not updated on this community. I just gave $1 million to Colombia. You need to update. You need to update yourself on that. Listen, I've updated myself. Now I done made my $1 million transaction, whether you like it or not. Now see, if you don't update yourself, you sitting back thinking about last year. You know what I mean? Whatever little interaction we had, I mean, since then, I done something else. I done something else since then. That's all I'm saying, man. You know what I'm saying? So if you label me as crazy and something's wrong with me, listen, bro. Listen, especially these white Americans. Man, first of all, you couldn't talk none of this language I just talked in the past hour and 30 minutes. You couldn't talk this language at all if it saved your life, if your life depended on it. All you gonna go by is say this little white boy stuff about honor and respect, that kind of thing, right? That's the only thing they gonna talk about. But they can't go into logistics of what I just went into. You're not built like that. You're not meant for this. You're not part of, you ain't a part of it. And so when you act like you're a part of it, listen, I'm gonna tear you to pieces. That includes police, because it's the difference between the police holding you to a charge and the police going to war. You go to war with me, man, and I know you ain't got no principles. I'm going to tear the police to pieces. I'm going to tear you to pieces. And see, some people, some street dudes didn't make it to my level where you can tear police to pieces. When they playing with you and they ain't got no charges. Okay, now I can fight back. Well, why can't I? I can fight back. You ain't got no charge. I don't gotta explain nothing. Man, listen, man. I don't gotta explain nothing else to you. I ain't gotta explain a thing. We going to war. That's what we doing. That's what I'm doing. We ain't talking about nothing else. Ain't nothing else to talk about, sucker. That would make you a sucker. You talking about other stuff and ain't got no charges. That's what make you a sucker right there. And I don't care. Listen, I don't care. Listen, I know you gonna brown nose these head honchos out here, and you ain't gonna sweat them like that. All these people you know is the head honchos in New York City. All these big bosses. You ain't gonna sweat them like that. You thought I was an everyday Joe to play with. Let's keep it 100. That's what you thought. Now you see differently, don't you? You see it differently, don't you? Yeah. I told you that. See, everybody see, in black culture, you might not know this because you're a white boy pig, right? And listen, in black culture, it's always that one person that people sleep on. That's the one that gets it in right there. Oh, that's how we talk out here. No. Not the one stunting on the block and fronting on the block. Not him. You know what I mean? Not the one sitting there eating a $10 plate in front of everybody flexing. You know what I mean? No, not him. I'm not saying he ain't got no turn up. But the one that you sleep on. You ain't sleeping on him. He out there fronting and everything, eating a $10 plate, fronting and everything, got the music up there, hitting loud, smoking loud, you know what I mean? Talking to these females, fronting on these, you know what I mean? You already know he good, right? You ain't gonna try police. I'm talking about police. You not gonna try that dude. Even though you know, come on, man, you can see the signs, man. You know this dude is, you know what I mean? But you ain't gonna try him though, right? You ain't gonna try him, right? But you gonna try me. You know why you thought you could try me? Because you thought I was a sucker. Listen, man, listen. I'm saying it so quick, you don't realize that's the whole reason. That is what it is. You thought I was a sucker, didn't you? Oh, yeah. It ain't got nothing to do with no crime. Because if it was a head honcho here in New York, you would have been done with it. You would have been done with this. Yes, you would have. Because you would have seen, I mind my business, I'm point A to point B. You don't see me doing nothing wrong. You would have been done with it. Because the truth is, the police want to be cool with these head honchos. Man, come on, man. Yeah, you do, man. You halfway do. You halfway do, and I'm halfway right. You halfway do, and I'm halfway right. Two parts pulled together. There we go. So then, when you find somebody that you perceive to be somebody that you wouldn't respect as a criminal, you know, they're a little more petty or something like that, they gonna rough them type up, ain't they? Yeah, that part. But you got this ongoing relationship with the real head honchos, don't you? When you gonna respect they gangster, Now, hold up. Keep it 100. You, as a police officer in NYPD, you gonna respect they gangster. Yeah, oh yeah. You ain't gonna pull up on them reckless and talking crazy and all of this, man. No, you're not. Especially if you know them. No, you're not. You thought I was somebody to play with, didn't you? Yeah, you did. Now you realize I'm a problem. Now you realize I'm a head honcho. Yeah, you realize I'm a head honcho, don't you? Fooled you, didn't it? And that go for these black people. Now you realize I'm a head honcho, don't you? Look at your country. Look at all this stuff that's happening. President Maduro in Brooklyn. Look at that. Man, listen. The real head honchos is looking at that. The head honchos, you know what they focus on right now? Maduro, especially far as New York go, Maduro in Brooklyn. Crazy, right? That's all we looking at, man. Anybody talking about these lames doing the same thing they was doing last year, man, you got to question yourself if you talking about that. No, question yourself, bruh. I'm talking about even if you ain't got nothing to do with it. If you sitting around entertaining what they doing and little stuff they do, think about it. And this stuff, the Maduro's here in Brooklyn. That's what we talking about. That's real results. That's real game. That's real warfare right there. That's real war right there. Greenland, Trump taking Greenland and all of that, and troops in Greenland right now. That's what's going on. That's what we talking about. Iran and all of that going on, the protesting over there. All the people killed over there. That's what we talking about, man. That's what Head Honcho's talking about. But we gotta address these lames all the time. You know why? Because half of them is stuck with the streets. That's the only reason we care about it. Because they going out there talking to the streets. They going out there talking to the community. I mean, if you just a lame in your little lame world, I wouldn't care. But I gotta go out my way to talk about it because you talking to the wrong people. About me, you talking to the wrong people. And I gotta ID myself constantly. Every year we gonna cause see you a lame every year, and we gonna be showing our progress every year. We gonna be showing what we doing every year. But you a lame every year. You see what I'm saying? Come on, how they gonna grow this year? They ain't gonna do nothing to grow. How they gonna grow? Every year you should read a book. That's real. Find a real book to read every year. And I gotta do this myself. Find a book to read where you get history, you read up on somebody you're interested in, and every year you grow as a person. You shouldn't be going year after year after year, you ain't read no books. Every year you should pick a book to read. And not one of those get rich scheme books. No, I'm talking about history. I'm talking about African history or American World War III, World War II, World War II, World War I. Read up on these people. Adolf Hitler, you can read a book about him. Why not? Pick the brain of a madman. You know what I'm saying? Read Malcolm X. You can read a book on Malcolm X. First time I read a book on Malcolm X, I was here in New York. I'm the person that goes to the library and get books like that. The most significant book I read, and that I read through because I didn't finish the book, but I read enough of it. You know what I'm saying? I went out my way. It's the principle. I sat down and read a book in New York in the internet time that we live in. I sat down and read a book. You know what I'm saying? And then the most significant book I read since I was here in New York was Malcolm X. And the main thing I got from it was that no revolution starts without bloodshed. It has to be bloodshed. And if you look through life, at first I'm gonna tell you what stopped me. I'm gonna be 100 with you. When he said that, when I read that quote, I'm like, I can't go no further with Malcolm X. I can't go no further with that. Every revolution starts with bloodshed. I'm like, But then I grew as a person, as a man, in my own situations. And I looked around and I understood the patterns of history. So after a while, you start realizing the patterns of histories. That's why people can predict what's going to happen. Because it's so many ways that human beings going to respond. We ain't got too many different ways we're going to respond to stuff that happens. And you begin to be able to kind of predict, not being a prophet like me, but you begin to be able to predict based on the options that men have and what they most likely are going to do. That's why everybody already knows it's basically World War III, because it's not based on the wars themselves. It's based on the animosity. The animosity that's coming up, the hate, you know what I'm saying? The friction between the different communities. That's what's provoking it. Because now that Trump and them did this to South America. South America don't really. You could talk about what they do. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, as a community, they don't really end up in these politics. They don't really end up in these conflicts like that. You know, that's always out east, as far as with America, everywhere out there. But they, going out here to South America, you could talk about, stuff that happened. Come on, but you know what I mean. You don't really see them too frequent in the news, and some people feel some type of way, man. Once that was done like it was done, It's not the matter of if he was selling drugs or not. It's the matter of how it was done. You could do the right thing the wrong way, and then you lose all your credibility on what you did. They went and got Maduro, President Maduro, the wrong way. So I don't care what he did. I don't care what he did. Nope, that's how a lot of people are. Because I'm looking at the first thing that happened. I'm looking at how it was done. And I'm looking at it like this is how white America always been. They like to hunt people. They like to try to bring in the criminals. It's a whole world view that they got. That they getting these criminals. They want to hurt they make it personal. And that's the worst thing you can do is be a cop or people like cops that personalize your vendettas against these criminals. Like you new to the world, like you don't know why people do these things. You know why people do these things. So with that understanding, why you gonna personalize beef against certain people? Like you simple. You know what the game is. You know why it is the way it is. And if you was a good white person, you would know that most black people been put in this situation. Okay, so then with that understanding, you gonna apply all of that, and you ain't gonna personalize nothing against these people out here. But they still do that. You know what I'm saying? Even with these drug boats, blowing up the drug boats, a black man ain't gonna never do that. Cause a black man gonna go down to technicalities and everything, and that's the standard that he got. I don't know if you got drugs in the boat. I don't want to stereotype you like white people do, like how they pull us over in cars. How you know I'm selling drugs? Why? Cause I got a nice car. You know what I mean? That's how Ice-T got pulled over recently. He had a nice car in Jersey. He was on his way to the DMV. Why they pulled him? Why you think they pulled him? Man, they seen the car, man. They seen the car. That's what it was about, man. You know what I'm saying? He talking about, and then the police talking about show a little respect. I like what Ice-T said, I don't have to. No, he don't have to. Respect is an option, a personal option. At that, it's a personal option based on me willing to give it. If I want to give it. Based on my standards of giving it. He talking about show a little respect. See, that's what them cops is used to. Getting they act like fraternity frat boys in the fraternity. Sitting around like alpha males. They think they're alpha males. And they think they're the big man on campus in the whole grid of America running around and everything like somebody owe them some type of respect. We don't know who you are. So do you see what I'm saying? So that's how you know they go by the stuff they do and everything, like some frat boys and everything. What the little stuff they do, we don't know about it. We don't know about it. So when you say show respect, it's based off your personal life that we don't know about. But you walking around like we supposed to know who you are. We don't know who you are. We don't care who you are. And for me, this is a perfect classic situation where cops don't even apply to your life, but they think they do. See, they go so far as even though you ain't doing no crimes, they think you still subject to them. I'm only subject to a cop when I do a crime. Other than that, you're nothing to me. When I see you and you see me, you're nothing. That's how you move, man. You're nothing. As long as I ain't doing no crimes, who are you? What you got to say to me? Nothing. Don't listen. You don't listen, man. You don't got to say nothing to me, man. That's how you talk to the police. You don't say nothing. You don't got to say nothing to me, man. You don't know. Nah. You got crime here? Okay, so then what? Well, you should have a better attitude. I'm not your kid. I'm not your son. I don't have to have. You don't critique my attitude. You don't critique me at all. Okay? As long as I'm not doing a crime and I'm not threatening you, am I threatening you? I know the law. As long as I'm not threatening you, bro, listen, man, don't critique my personality. Don't critique me. I'm not your child to scold. You scold your children. You don't scold me. You don't tell me how to walk around. That's when you straighten them. You straighten them right there. That's how head honcho gonna tell you, no, hold up, buddy. Me and you are on technicalities and only technicalities. You got a crime? Okay, then that's it, buddy. We ain't got nothing else to say to each other. It's all technicalities. All technicalities. You got a crime? You don't got a crime. Okay, then listen, I don't have anything to say to you. Now, these other people out here want to go out here and talk and eat a hot dog with you and talk to you. That's them. That's white culture. I personally don't respect you, right? Okay? I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to know you. I don't care about you. You lost credibility as an institution. And that's how I look at it. Now, am I going to think about a good cop and you lost credibility as a whole institution? No. I update myself to Ferguson and and George Floyd, all these things that happen, right? And I'm updated. Not going off the stuff in the 60s and the 70s. No, updated to Ferguson in St. Louis, to George Floyd in Minneapolis. And ICE walk around like the police in Minneapolis, doing the same thing that police do. ICE ain't nothing but police, got the same attitude. Don't sleep on it. I mean, you see, you first thought about, oh, that's like an agency, like, you know, they're a little bit up from the police. No, they just like the police. Look at them. Look at them. They already killed somebody. They just like them. They're just like them. They're just like the police. You see, you kind of slept on it. And even she did. These people sleep on these people. If she would have knew they was like the police, she would have had a whole different attitude. She thought she could move around and do a little stuff and you know what I'm saying? That's the truth. That's the truth. She thought she could move around. That woman, Renee Good, no, listen. She thought she could move around and flex a little hard on these ICE people. Oh yeah, that's what it was. If that was the police, you would have stopped. I do believe that. A white girl, she gonna skate off on the police? No, she not. Cause she know they gonna follow them. Right? Right. So, you know, people got a little lax and a little, you know what I'm saying? Everybody got to learn. You get a little relaxed with these ICE people. You think you can challenge them in there. You know, they making little mistakes. You think you can challenge them, you wind up dead. Just like the cops. You know what I mean? That's how you got to move. You got to move you got like how you careful with the cops. See, she wasn't careful enough. That's what it was. Man, listen, if you know you're not guilty, why didn't you just stop? And just let these jerks, if they pull in your door, I would have stopped right there. But I'm just saying, as soon as you pull my door, I'll say, yo, hold up. But I'm stopping though. At that time, I'm stopped. I'm already arrested. Once you pull my door on my car, I'm not doing anything else. Because now it's an altercation. You feel me? You know when it's an altercation. All right, once they pull that door, the altercation already done started. And see, that's the difference between people from the street, criminals. We know when it escalated, it escalated right there. Soon as he pulled the door, it's an escalation. You don't see it that way? If you was in the hood, let's just say besides the police or ICE, you in the hood. You in the hood. Somebody pull your door on the streets. Yo, you stopping right there. I mean, I don't know what you're gonna do, but that's an escalation, right? That's escalation. Somebody pull your door to open your door, that's escalation. Right or wrong? Yeah. Somebody pull your door, that's escalation, man. Like, yo, what you pulling my door for? I'm gonna stop right there, and I'm gonna see what he want. Okay, because once you pull me out and rough me up or whatever, all you're gonna do is try to get my ID. See, we used to this as black people. All you're gonna do, basically, if you can take me down to the bookings, it ain't nothing gonna happen. I'm gonna get out. You see what I'm saying? Instead of escalating the situation. Listen, you gonna run my card. You're gonna run my car. You're gonna see I ain't got no warrants. You're gonna see I'm an American citizen. I even go down to bookings. Listen, I might talk my junk. I might say something. I might talk my junk. But I'm gonna go through the process and I'm gonna come out of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna try to resist arrest in that situation. You know, you can't do that. You can't do that. That's people that's not from the streets. You can't resist no arrest and drive off. You think they just let you go? Oh, you thought once they open the door or try to open the door, they gonna say they was pursuing you. That's what they gonna say. They're gonna say they was trying to engage you, and now because when you went away after that, after you try to engage them, they try to engage you and you left. They gonna say you left while they was trying to engage you. You ain't gonna be able to get away. You're not gonna be able to get away. So why try to ride away and you know they're going to follow you? They're going to give chase. See, she ain't thinking like that. They're going to give chase. They would have got right in their cars and went after you saying, now you might have something to hide. Why you leaving like that? Stupid, man. That's just, you see, you can't play that tough position. You can't play like you're some bad. If you hate the cops or you hate ICE, man, you can't hop out here. You see what I'm saying? You got to know how to move. You got to play chess with these people. You got to go through all what they talk about and then show them they wrong. Yeah, you wrong. Okay, yeah, I won because you're wrong, right? Yeah. It's more than one way to be the cop, man. Or anybody like them. You can't just, resisting arrest and trying to resist and all of that. Because they gonna cover each other, man. That's what I'm saying. They gonna look out for each other. At the end of the day, and you just gonna be another dead person. And they gonna look out for each other. That's what it is, man. In my opinion, I think when she tried to run him over, he took it personal. He got mad about it. His reflex was, you try to hit me with the car, I'm gonna shoot you. That's it. You try to hit me with the car, I'm gonna shoot you. That's to me, knowing how these cops think, I think that was the attitude. The attitude was, you try to hit me with the car, I'm gonna shoot you. That's what I'm gonna do. And so in that flash of what happened, remind you, cops are used to responding quicker. So his anger can flash quicker and he can respond quicker according to his anger. And see, right there is where you get Jedi mind trick, because it happened so quick, you thought he was innocent. Boom, that's 7 hours. It happened so quick, you thought he was innocent. Like he didn't have enough time to process it and think about it and get angry about it. He got angry instantly. When she tried to hit him with the car, he responded in anger. Boom, I'm gonna shoot you. See what I'm saying? That's how quick a cop that's how quick they can react in anger. Like I said, now apply that to every year. Like I said, what makes the streets bad or worse than last year was people are quicker on the draw, right? They're quicker on the draw. They're quicker on the draw. Okay, so even the police, look at that. See what happened? Quicker on the draw. Mind you, they're interacting with all these people, these illegal migrants and everything. Their feathers are already ruffled all the time. They're hearing them whistles and everything. Think about it. Every environment they go through now, they gotta hear these whistles and everything everywhere they go. So their feathers are ruffled all the time. You know what I'm saying? And they're waiting for the negativity. They're looking for the negativity. They're looking for some negative reaction. I mean, well, they're ready for it. Put it like that. They're ready for the negative reaction. And when even though her wheels were turned away from the cops, that's the saving grace right there. That's the smoking gun. Because if somebody will hit you with their car, obviously their wheels are going to be, they're going to just mash the gas. They're going to take it out of park and just mash the gas. That's all they're going to do. If I turn my wheels, that's saying I'm trying to go this way. Every driver know that. I'm trying to go away from you. Now, somebody that's trying to hit you is just going to come off that park in the drive and mash the gas. And it's going to be the car is going to be turning towards you. She would have went left instead of right, because she would have been trying to hit the person on the left side of her car. No, think about what I said. He was on the left. He was on the driver's side of the car. If somebody is trying to hit you, when they pull out a drive, is how they not going to turn left, because they trying to hit you with the car. Think about it. That's just a normal reaction for you. If you're trying to hit somebody on the left side of your car, on the driver's side in front of you, you're going to kind of turn left a little bit to try to hit them. Even if it's after you pass the person, you still going to find yourself turning left, because that's what you was trying to do. It just happened so quick, You wasn't able to line it up with the hit the person, but you still kind of turned left trying to go that way and hit the person after you passed the person. But once her wheels were spinning the opposite direction, man, that's on the defense. That's how as far as how she was going, it was on the defense, not on the offense. See, in war, there's two types of positions, offense and defense. This is how you figure it out. You clean it up. If this woman was on the defense, on the offense, she would have been turning left. She would have, even after, let's just say, she put it in the drive, right? She mashed the gas. Eventually, in her mindset, even if she don't get to turn quick enough, right? Sharp enough, right? Even though she didn't hit him by turning left, she still gonna make a left turn, which shows her intentions, because she's trying to hit that person. So he overhead, she hit the gas and get past him, but she's still gonna turn left because that's what she was trying to do. Most human beings are gonna do that. That's how their reflex is gonna be. If I'm trying to hit this person on my left side, even though I mashed the gas and I went past him, I'm still kind of turn left a little bit, because that's where my mind was at, right? Right. That's where my reflex is at, because that's where my mind is at. How you gonna say she tried to hit him, but her mind, she turning the car this way, trying to leave. She was trying to leave. It's common sense. So then you can't say her intention was to hit you. You would have got hit in the process of her leaving, and that's different. That's basically what it was. You would have got hit in the process. And think about it. She was her girlfriend, right? Her wife. Well, you know, that's what they say. Well, you think she trying to hit you with a car? She's trying to get out of there. That's what she's trying to do. See, what you forget and you're blind to is the girl was on the other side. So she seen her probably through her peripheral, and know her wife is trying to. She's not in the car, but she's waiting for her. Come on, I mean, they know they was gonna be together. Okay, so she's more thinking like, let us get out of here. And because it's ICE, we don't have to answer to them. We'll just get out of here. That's what it was. That was the mentality. We'll just get out of here. We don't have to get, you get out of here and we gonna get out of here. That's the mentality. That's why the other girl was talking to him. You see how she was talking to him? Her wife was talking, how she was talking to him. She was talking to him like dismissing him, like you're nobody, you know what I'm saying? Go get something to eat, you know what I'm saying? Like, see, they thought they could play with ICE like, more than you play with the cops. Me, I'm not playing with him. I'm not playing with him. I wouldn't have been talking to him. She was talking to him, everything. See, if she would have went ahead and got in the car, I'm gonna tell you something would have happened. I'm not saying she's at fault, but if she would have went ahead and got in the car, boom, she closed the door, her girlfriend's gonna look around. Her girlfriend is gonna look around. You know what I'm talking about. The girl, her companion is gonna look around, right? The driver, while she's looking at this other dude, this is a normal reflex. The wife stops talking crap like she's a guy. She gets in the car. Boom, she closed the door. She's probably still gonna be talking, and between the door closing and her talking to this guy outside the window, the driver is gonna look at her. That moment she does, it changes everything for what happens. I'm not saying it's her fault, but if she would have gotten in the car, it would have threw everything off. Because she would have looked at her and started talking to her probably for a moment. Like, yeah, this dude tried to grab my car, think about it. She gonna, at that moment, when her companion got in the car, she would have started talking to her. Yeah, he tried to just grab the door, whatever. You know what I'm saying? What? Yeah. Then they both gonna be talking to him. But because her friend is in the car, she's going to be less quicker to turn to speed off. She was caught in the moment. She didn't even think about her companion. She didn't even think about her. She was trying to get in the car. But if she would have been not talking to that dude, and she would have gotten in the car, that would have threw everything off. She would have turned around, looked at her, and started talking to her, right or wrong. You think about it. She ain't gonna just sit there and be quiet when she got in the car. The first thing she gonna do is tell her, yo, the dude just trying to grab the door, whatever. He's gonna be like, yo, now that same talkative girl is gonna be talking to the other dude on the other side. And they both gonna be talking. From that point, she could have influenced her wife. Yo, don't leave, don't da. It would have been a whole different outcome if that other girl would have gotten in the car. That would have slowed everything down. They would have been talking or whatever, and then they probably would have got pulled out the car. That's what happened, because once the other girl got in the car, they would have been talking at least for like 5 seconds. They would have been talking. Yo, yeah, this happened, that happened, talking, right? Other dude on the other side, he steady trying to grab the door, right? He gonna probably try to grab her. He gonna try to grab this girl, right? At that point, it's escalation. It ain't no need to try to drive off. It's already escalated to where you might could even put a charge against them. Once they put hands on you or they mess up your door or something like that, and you ain't doing nothing, so then you sit there and you go through the process. You know what I'm saying? You don't try to drive off. Well, if that other girl would have gotten in the car, that would have calmed everything down. That would have calmed, because the other girl would have felt more. The driver would have felt more responsible for her reaction because somebody else is in the car. If that makes sense. Now I gotta kind of. It's more of a tense situation where I might put her life in jeopardy. I might do something that put us both in trouble. Now I'm more conscious of that. But she was out there talking to the other dude on the other side of the car. That's what threw everything off. If she would have went ahead and got in the car, it would have threw it off. I'm telling you, for sure. Because think about it. She would have got in the car. That personality, the passenger would have been talking to the driver. She ain't gonna just get in the car and be quiet. They would have been talking to each other. And at the moment they would have talked to each other, that would have changed the whole outcome either way it go. Like I said, I'm not saying it's her fault. But see, all that talking and yapping and talking to these people and telling you, man, you can't be arrogant like that. You can't size these people up. You can't treat them like bozos and things like that. And that's what she basically trying. It's an art to it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know the art, you can't do it. You can't sit up there and talk about lunch and everything. You know what I'm saying? Come on, I mean, you get in the car. Your companion would have been thrown off talking to you. Yeah, this dude just grabbed. She gonna see you through her peripheral. She already seen you through her peripheral. But once you get in the car, now she gonna turn around. That's a normal reflex. That's a normal reflex. She gonna see her through her peripheral while she was outside the car. She gets in the car. A normal reflex is gonna be, oh, okay, you in the car, whatever, in your mind. Okay, guess what happened? This dude trying to grab the door. That's the first thing she gonna tell her. Yeah, he trying to grab my door. He trying to open the door. That's what she gonna tell her, right? That would have threw everything off. That's what happened. You know what I'm saying? The moral of the story, man, is the people you think are not refined are very refined, like me. I might mispronounce some words every once in a while. I might say something, you know what I'm saying? But and if you're that type of bozo that's just waiting for something like that, then you a clown, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm way more refined than half of you. You know what I'm saying? Because I can break down all these situations, and that's basically what it is. She wasn't trying to hit him. She wasn't trying to hit him because her wheels was turned in the opposite direction away from this dude. Okay, any driver know you're not trying to hit this person if your wheels are turned like that sharply to where you can sharply turn away from this person. Okay, so that shows you intention. Now, if you got hit in the process of her driving away, you supposed to be sharp enough. How I feel is, man, like you can't see. Standing in front of a car to stop somebody from leaving is not the right move. That's not the right move. Look at it for what it is. You standing in front of a car to stop somebody from leaving. So they're forced to hit you. As a cop, you shouldn't even be making no moves, or somebody like them, you shouldn't make no move where you standing in front of somebody's car to stop them from leaving. Nah. Especially if she ain't done no crime. I can see if she got in the car after a crime. Okay, you trying to stand in front of the car. But if she ain't done no crime, that's a little too aggressive. You know what I'm saying? As a initial approach, it's a little more aggressive than an initial approach. And you standing in front of the car. and she ain't really done nothing. And it ain't no choice but to hit you. So a smart cop knows if you try to leave, I'm gonna shoot you. You could look at it like that. I know if you mash this gas, I'm gonna have a right to shoot you. I could say you were trying to hit me. Cops are quick on their toes in the middle of a crime or altercation. They're very quick on their toes, man. That's all they do is dance with criminals. That's all they do is dance with criminals. Think about it. You keep dancing with criminals, you're gonna know, oh, I got you right here. I got you right here. I can do this. I can do that. That's the truth. You gotta know you gotta understand. It's all about, as times escalate, it's all about who is quickest on the draw, right? These people are out here sharp. That's why she lost. They're sharp. Once I stand in front of your car, on technicality, you can't move. Because I can say, oh, you try to hit me with your car, so I shot you. Boom. That's the checkmate, really. You can't do nothing. That's when he felt you should have known. You should have knew this was the checkmate. She didn't look at it that way. She didn't look at it like it was the checkmate, but it was. Okay, you can't move. I'm in front of the car. You can't even persist to drive any further. So see, she just made a mistake. She just made a mistake, man. If you wasn't guilty, why not comply? Why not comply? That's as a criminal. A criminal gonna say, man, we can't do nothing. I know I ain't guilty though. I know I ain't doing nothing, so I'm gonna sit here and go through this, and we gonna be halfway mocking you as we go through this process. But we gonna go through it. We ain't gonna try to drive off and the police trying to open up the door. No, ain't no need to, because they gonna follow, they gonna give chase. They would have gave chase. I'm pretty sure they would have gave chase. If they engaged her, you think they gonna say, oh, we didn't get her. She just drove away. No. Once she would have left the scene of them trying to engage her, they would have gave chase. They would have gave chase. They would have called in the car. They would have gave the description of the car, everything, man. They would have put out, you know what I'm saying, a notice to the whole police community. She wouldn't have got too far. You think they would have let her go? That's the bottom line. The bottom line is this: if she drove off, would they have gave chase? Yes. Yes, they would have gave chase. They would have informed the rest of the police, and she wouldn't have got nowhere. It would have hit the news, probably, maybe not, but the police would have got her. The police would have got her. We might have seen that little clip where they try to open up the door. That's it, But it might have wouldn't have hit major news, but we would have seen that little clip on social media somewhere. You know what I'm saying? When they trying to open up the door, that's all it had to be. I mean, well, in that case, when she got away, but that's all it would have been. But yeah, she basically, man, would have been chased. Right? She would have been chased. That's the bottom line. She would have been chased. A criminal gonna know this. Okay, if once you engage me, if you give me a verbal command as ice, I might could drive off. I can get away with that. Cause I ain't done nothing, right? So I can just drive off like I ain't hear you. They might even let it go. If I just say something to the car and I just drive off, they might let that go. But if I go to open up the door, it's already escalated. It already escalated. And so it already escalated too far. Her being, and I'm not being racist, she was a white woman. She didn't know these chess moves, these technicalities. This is how it is. She didn't know these technicalities. She didn't know these technicalities, man. Once they try to open up the door, most criminals are gonna say, nah, you're gonna sit and let it be, whatever it is. You're gonna say, man, you trying to open my door? Hold up. I'm getting out, man. I'm getting out. Because you don't want your door broken, the handle of your door. That could have broke the handle of the door. If you would have kept trying to pull it and it was locked, it would have just broke the handle. Right? So I would have stopped him. Yo, hold up, I'm getting out. 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 Okay? I'm getting out. You come out. You verbally say that. That's how you got to talk to the cops. I'm getting out. 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 I mean, you got to talk to them like that. Okay, come on. Okay, you open up the door. Whatever. What do you want? What do you want? Here's my ID. Here's my ID. Here's my ID. How long you been in this country, et cetera, et cetera. That's all they would have did. They would have did the same thing with the other girl. It would have been over. They was obviously white girls. That's what make it so bad. You think they gonna sit there and put them through some type of process? And they white girls. Apparently white girls too. Both of them. It ain't that she was with a Hispanic or Latino woman. They both were white girls. That wouldn't have lasted no longer than 20 minutes. But see, for people that ain't used to interacting with the cops, that's what it was. She wasn't used to it. Black people would have stopped. As soon as they would have messed with that door, we would have stopped. We would have stopped. We would have stopped as soon as they try to open that door. I would have stopped right then. But see, white America is used to doing what they want to do. That's the truth on both sides. You know what I'm saying? A black woman or a black man, we can't, once they try to go for that door and it's escalated, that's escalation. That's now somebody trying to get in your car. That's escalation. That's how we look at it. Now you thinking like that, oh, this is escalating. Oh man, trying to go for the door. Right. Now you're gonna slow all the way down. Man, hold up. I'm getting out, man. I'm getting out. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna stop the car. You're gonna leave the car. Get out the car. Hold up. I'm getting out, man. Because you know you ain't got nothing to hide. Why resist arrest and you ain't got nothing to hide? And especially with ICE. This is ICE, so you already know it's not a matter of a crime. It's a matter of if you're a legal citizen or not. It's not like they're going to check and you ain't got no warrants, right? Okay. It's not like a cop is trying to accuse you of a crime, right? Necessarily. Okay, so this is going to be over. This is not a random police stop. This is going to be over in a matter of minutes. We're going to determine if I'm a U.S. citizen and move on. And see, that's the difference. That's the difference between black America and white America, man. I'm keeping 100 with you. I'm not saying that in a racist way, but this is the difference between white America because they used to just doing what they want to do, bro. That's just what it is. That's why she responded like that. We used to having to submit. Even though it don't make sense to us, we used to having to submit to some foolishness. You know what I'm saying? And when it don't make sense to us, we still gonna submit to it though, for our own safety. See, she just didn't know any better, man. She didn't know any better, man. She wasn't used to interacting with the cops. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's chess moves, it's technicalities. It's all about technicalities. That's what it's all about. It's all about technicalities and legalities. That's what it's all about. Technicalities and legalities. That's what it's all about. If you don't know how, this is a perfect example of people that don't know how to move out here. Because as soon as that had happened with me, as soon as he grabbed the door, I'm done. I'm done with it. You got my attention. You trying to grab the door. See, that for most people, that would have been enough. You grab my door, now it's escalating. You trying to get me out the car. That's what it's for, right? It's not just grabbing it and opening it up. It's trying to get me out the car. Okay, that's escalation. Once you get into escalation with any type of cops, you got to submit and go through the process. You can't play with these people. They got the upper hand. They got arms on them, and ain't nothing you could do. It's not being a chump. It's not being a weakling or whatever. You can't do nothing. You can't do anything. You can't make any moves. They pull the door, you get out. Okay, whatever. It's whatever, man. It's whatever. That's how I would be doing. I be shaking my head. It's whatever, man. It's whatever, man. I ain't trying to hear it, man. Just whatever. What you want? What you trying to do? You need my ID? Okay, here you go. That's how you have to treat them. Here you go. I ain't trying to hear nothing else, man. Ain't nothing else to talk about. I'm an American citizen. Here's my ID. Do what you do, man. Do what you do, bruh. Do what you do, bruh. You gotta talk to them like that. Do what you do, bruh. I'm not trying. Well, you can do that now, bruh. Just do what you do You got my ID, man. Listen, I'm just trying to get this done as soon as possible. I know you probably, and as soon as you say that, that's his reasoning too. Even though he's a jerk or whatever, it might be a psychopath, but his reasoning is, I'm trying to get done with this as soon as possible. As soon as you say that, man, he's gonna be triggered to go ahead and take care of that. Do what you do this as soon as possible, get it done. Listen, I'm not trying to talk about nothing else, nothing personal. Go, just do what you do, man. Just do what you do. That's how you treat them. That's how we treat them. You have to. You gotta talk to them like kids. You gotta say stuff over and over again. They might be shell-shocked, PTSD. I'm serious. You gotta talk to them over and over again. Yo, I'm getting out the car. I'm getting out the car. You can't say it one time. You gotta say it over and over again. At that moment in time, and you get out. They back up for you to get out. I'm getting out the car. 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 That's how you gotta talk to them. And for good people, street people, we go from 0 to 100. We see what we need to do. As soon as the police come, we on it. Yo, I'm getting out the car. I'm getting out the car. I'm getting out the car. See, if you're not quick on the draw, and you don't know how to respond, right? And that's what happens to you. You become a casualty. That easy. That's how you and take heed to that, because that could be you. You can think, oh, I'm not really doing nothing. Not really doing nothing. As soon as the people pull up, man. As soon as the people playing with you, man, you gotta make sure you paying attention. As soon as they come approach my car, well, okay, so what's up? Oh, well, we want to see your ID. Okay, here you go. And see, right when you don't respond like a normal, like these people that just yelling at him, now he's forced to reason properly about how he should handle this situation. Okay, and that's how it go. Once you do that, okay, he gonna say, okay, you good to go. You know what I'm saying? You know, we just wanted to check. He gonna try to explain his position because he gonna feel kind of bad. But I mean, he gonna try to explain his position. Well, you know, we just checking everybody out here. You gonna say, it's what it is, what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I don't, you know, it ain't about race, but dude, you know, if you're white, you probably are not illegal. I mean, you know, so you know, was it a traffic violation? What was it? Did I do a traffic violation here? What was the problem? See, we used to it. We used to interacting with them, man. If you're not used to it, you'll be a casualty. Even some black people are casualties because they're not used to interacting with the police. Me, I'ma always be technical. Always technical. And I you know, I'm not saying to do it, but I know the art of being able to talk to them and get my point across to the police. I say what I need to say, and you know what I'm saying? But see, that's cause I'm always ready. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. You know, I'm gonna give, as soon as they come into my situation, I'm gonna say what I need to say. Like, for a perfect example, like when I was in another part of New York, I had ordered my groceries early in the morning. I know these were gang stalkers. That's how I felt, right? But so I got all my groceries and everything. I went shopping early in the morning, but I had a weapon on me. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might have saw the weapon, right? Because I had a big old blade. I got butcher knives. It's hard to hide a butcher knife because it tears up your pants. If you put it downward, it's gonna tear up the pants. So the blade gotta be upward. Anybody carry blades know that. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna tear your clothes, put holes in your pockets. Okay, so I had the blade upward in the back pocket. So it kind of, my shirt might have rose up and you can see it. And that's the reason why. I can't put it downward. I would definitely do that, but it's gonna tear up your clothes. You ain't gonna be able to do it. So somebody must have seen the blade or whatever, right? So, yeah. Somebody must have seen the blade or whatever, or it might have been that I had it out. I'm gonna just be honest with you. It might have been. But then I don't think that was that day. But By the time I got all my groceries and I went to a bodega to get like some stamps and things and everything, by the time I did that, the police was in the bodega, drawing a taser on me. Had a taser on me. He's in the door entrance while I'm about to come out. I only went in and out like to get some stamps, like envelope stamps, right? So the police comes in, an officer that had like a white shirt on, so he was like some type of probably, I don't know, some high-ranking police or whatever. So he had a yellow taser drawn on me. And if you ain't never had a taser drawn on you, you don't really know what it is until you think about it. So it was like a yellow taser. So I know he's pointing this yellow taser at me and saying, don't move. And they pulled the weapon from off of me, right? So I'm telling them, I hate you, this, that, and the third. They searching me for other stuff, searching me and stuff. I'm telling them, man, you acting like homosexuals. I'm talking junk to them. Why they doing this? You acting like homosexuals. You already searched me right there. Why you searching me there again? And so once we got to the precinct, me and one of the cops sat in the car and he was like, man, I know you're in your right mind. I know you're not crazy. And I just talked all this junk to him. Because they know the difference. You know what I'm saying? That we ain't tolerating nothing off these police. And they don't even take it personal because it's someone else made them form that opinion. So you can't even personalize it. I mean, if you're smart, but he was like, man, yeah, you ain't crazy. You in your right mind. The police done said that about me. They can tell who's who. You know what I'm saying? And I was letting them know, I'm from North Carolina, but he was like, well, yeah, from here, this is on the way to the precinct. Well, here you can't carry no blades like that and everything, a certain size. And I think he was saying you can't carry blades. He said, well, that makes sense. Once he realized I was from North Carolina, because we used to carry weapons in North Carolina. What you sleep on about North Carolina is we grew up shooting guns. We grew up shooting guns. So for you, if you're from New York, you got to be around certain people to be shooting guns, usually street people. For us in North Carolina, we can be around family shooting guns, friends and everything. And so we get a heart to shoot and kill a lot quicker than people in the big cities. That's the ironic thing. You would think that the big cities would produce shooters and killers a lot quicker than us, but no, because everybody got guns, you know what I'm saying, and you get to shoot them. So it's nothing for us, to carry weapons and to shoot people and shoot guns, in North Carolina. That's something you might not know. But, think about it from maybe a white American perspective. White boys in North Carolina are gonna have guns. They're gonna be cowboys. That's my point for bringing them up. They're gonna be cowboys. White boys in the South gonna be cowboys. They're gonna have guns, rifles, and everything else, and they're gonna be ready to shoot you. So it's not coming from necessarily a street perspective. It's just the culture. It's the culture of North Carolina and the South. I would say the South. So you gotta kind of take somebody from the South a little more seriously when they talk about guns and weapons, because they used to it. That's why they used to it, as opposed to somebody that's from the city. You got to be around certain people. Let's say your family, because of the gun charges, they ain't gonna have no legal guns, and then your family probably didn't go get a gun license or whatever. So you ain't gonna have no guns in the house in most families unless they street people. You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't around no street people, then you may not be exposed to gun culture. Down in North Carolina, you could not even come from the streets at all, and you grow up shooting guns as a kid. I shot guns before I sold crack. I shot guns before I did any felonies. Before I did any felonies, I shot guns first. See, that's the South. Because you got people, everybody got guns. And you got to remember, in the South, we could go to Kmart and buy a shotgun. Stuff you heard these comedians say, well, yeah, rifles and everything. It's not like that now. But back in the day, you could go to, I remember going to Kmart and seeing like guns, big old shotgun rifles. But that was a more innocent place in time in the South. People wasn't really out here thugging, not like now, So it was still more of a. It took time to pull that culture down where you can go to a department store and get a shotgun. It took a long time because of people feeling it was a good right to have. And so it took a long time for people to pull down that culture and that right, but eventually they did, because everybody thugging. You know, I can go get a big old rifle from the from the Kmart and do a lick, and you ain't gonna budge if I pull that rifle on you. You ain't gonna make no moves. You ain't have to have no gun license. I don't think so. I don't think you did. That's crazy though, I know. I don't think you had to have a gun license. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it was just like a purchase. Because it was just so country that people just they looked at that as they gonna go hunting with these guns, these hunting guns. They didn't think about the criminal aspect. They thinking about, oh, these people gonna go hunting with these guns. Because that's what people did. It was more of an innocent place and time. Now, people say, oh, man, look at all these guns over here. Man, I should get about 3 of those. That's what happened. Is people started getting them guns. Think about it. At the end, before it stopped, people, man, looking over there, yo, look at all them guns over there. I'm going to get about 3 of them. And people probably start thinking, why it's happening? I'm going to get about 3 of them guns. And then when they start showing up in crimes, think about it. They had to shut down the culture of this, the gun culture in the South. But it was more easy. It was way more easier for us to get guns than everybody else. So when you have to take a North Carolina person more seriously, but then it's a double-edged sword. It don't mean they got street principles, or they got street principles, street rules and regulations. They might not know all of that, but they'll shoot you. That's where it gets tricky. Or they might not shoot you, but they got a gun. But once again, North Carolina, most people will shoot you. Oh yeah. Even in my dad's house, my family keep weapons, man. We keep weapons. See, when you come from it and your family and there's guns in the house, you get used to the thought of it. It's different than a person from New York. You're not used to your family having guns. Your mama and them, your daddy, your uncles having guns. Guns for the house is how we put it. You need a gun for the house. Okay? So it's a different mentality, altogether. But with that being said, once the cops knew I was from North Carolina, they looked at me carrying weapons and bearing arms in a whole different way, because they know how people are from North Carolina. See, one thing about New York, they just think by default, they think just they're the best. But I can show you, man, how other states have more strengths that you don't have. You don't have certain strengths that they have. Survival skills based on geographics, living off the land. That's gonna be Southern people. We're gonna be able to live off the land way better than the city boy. We're gonna be able to live in the woods and all that way better. And better on our psychology. It's gonna be better on our psychology, because we people that go in the woods. I used to go in the woods. I used to go in the woods to pray. I just sit in the woods. Something you will feel eerie about doing, I sit in the woods by myself. That's a Southern boy. A Southern boy gonna sit in the woods by himself. Think about stuff, think about life. You gonna go take a walk, get a coffee, and think about stuff. I'm gonna go in the woods and think about stuff. You don't know what it's like, you know what I'm saying? You learn the woods, you learn to walk in the woods at nighttime. You ain't never been to the woods at nighttime, so you'll be too scared to even do it. Walking in the woods at night, gotta find a path. If you get off a path and trying to find your way through, if you're looking for something, listen, you ain't a Southern dude if you ain't never lost nothing in the woods. Lost something in the woods, now you're trying to find your way to where the stuff at. You keep going back, you try to go back to the path. Okay, I think I was over here. I think it was. You ain't never been running around, rambling around in the woods at nighttime. You ain't built like Southern people. You too scared of it. You scared of the woods at night, because you thinking about the criminal element. You thinking about being in these woods, and anybody can be in here. But usually it's not gonna be nobody in the woods. You might have to worry about animals, but if it's a well-trodden path, it ain't gonna be no animals. Animals too scared to be that close to this well-trodden path where humans are coming through. They're well way away from that path. Now, if you go to woods where it look like ain't nobody there, the first thing that's gonna alert me is that wild animals is gonna be used to being around here, because it's no paths, it's their grounds, and nobody's there, and they can smell you. The animal can smell you. So see, that's just a basic. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying I'm a super expert at all this stuff I just talked about, but you can see I'm a Southern dude. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what comes with it. Like I said, man, people gotta get sharper. You gotta get sharper. If you God's people, I'm really just talking to God's people. You gotta get sharper, because in my personal point of view, a lot of things is about to change real bad and real drastically, and I don't know what it's gonna be, and I don't know how it's gonna be after it happens. But it's gonna be most likely high levels of desperation, worse than COVID-19. See, once COVID came, you should have knew going ahead something worse is coming than COVID. And people barely made it through that. And so that's why people gotta respect you, man. You made it through COVID. Because anything could have happened to you. You gotta respect yourself. You made it through COVID. We weeded out. I don't want to look at it that way, but a lot of people got weeded out through COVID. A lot of people got weeded out. They made bad mistakes. Some people just got COVID just doing stupid stuff. They didn't wear the mask. They thought they could step out there, thought it was a game. Got their whole chest blowed off. Got their whole chest blowed off playing with COVID. Listen, I took masks everywhere I went, even out there kind of stopped. I still was wearing a mask. And you could think people think you crazy or not. So what? I know people still getting COVID right now as we speak. So then if the threat is still there, why it can't happen to me? I'm not listening. Yeah, that's real. Which means these facilities, like I'm in a facility right now, it's dirty in here. People act like they ain't we ain't in post-COVID-19 time. This stuff's supposed to be spick and span all the time. And people got diseases in here, everything just filthy, man. I don't respect nobody in this building. No. Long as this building is dirty and nasty, I don't respect nobody. Because there's too much going on with diseases these days. COVID woke everybody up, and it's still COVID out here. COVID is still, let me say this so people can understand it. COVID is still killing people. Okay? Today. You can go check the numbers. You can go Google it. COVID is still killing X amount of people every week. Every week. Not, it was no COVID deaths this whole week. No, every week. There's no weeks going by with no COVID deaths. Where there's no COVID deaths, okay? So as long as people are dying from COVID every week still, right? You could get it individually and not look at these numbers. Not look at because you don't see any numbers, right? Or you don't know people still dying and you don't see nobody talking about it. But people are still dying, but they ain't talking about it on the news, right? And you think, I can't get it. What you mean you can't get it? People getting it all the time. So then, I don't care if people think I'm crazy. Listen, I'm still wearing a mask. That's right. That's right, buddy. That's right. That's right. If you still can get it, how you gonna look at, a lot of people ain't getting it, but you still can get it. You still can get it though. And that's how you gotta look at it. Ain't no other way to look at it. You still can get it. They need to keep these facilities. All these people got laxed again, dirty. They just dirty old facilities and all this kind of stuff. Especially the bathrooms. There should be bleach in there, spick and span all the time. But people could wait to get back to being trifling and dirty and haphazard about everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but like I said, it's something is coming worse than COVID. And like a lot of people are saying on the internet, a lot of people are not ready for it. They're not ready, man. You're not ready. It's gonna be sad because of the lack of preparation. A lot of people just gonna be killing themselves. It's gonna be too overwhelming. And us as Christians, the good thing about us is we're already ready for like an apocalyptic type of world. All these real bad things. Christians been prepared for that for years. You know, we're already open to the thought of it. But like these other people that didn't think nothing bad was gonna happen, and I don't know how they see the world, but nothing bad is gonna happen and stuff like that. Stuff is gonna happen. History is always full of surprises. All history. History is full of surprises. So as soon as you think you're gonna calculate, you playing yourself. You ain't gonna be able to calculate what's gonna happen out here. You ain't gonna know. It's always gonna be something unique, like COVID. COVID, you ain't know COVID was gonna happen. People gonna tell you they knew and all that, man. I mean, you know, that's people just throwing stuff out there. They don't. I mean, you know what I mean? Think about it. That's like you can find somebody saying a great storm is gonna happen, and then the great storm happened, and they gonna say, well, you know, I said a great storm was gonna happen. People gonna say a disease was coming. We knew a disease. People been talking like that for a long time. They didn't know COVID was gonna come. You know how we know? Because they wasn't prepared for it. America wasn't prepared for it. If you knew it was coming, how you ain't prepared for it? What's the purpose of knowing but you wasn't prepared for it? You knew it was gonna happen. Why you weren't prepared? Huh? See, what I want you to understand is I'm past these levels of real and fake that you struggle on. I'm way past that. You know what level I'm on? Elevating and talking about things greater than being real and all this foolishness. I'm talking about the whole world. I'm talking about these real events. I'm talking about this real stuff popping off, these real wars. You stuck on trying to still be real. We mastered that in the 90s, in the 1990s. I ain't never doubted myself. That's how I know it's you. You know what I'm saying? Like some black people stuck on who's real and who's not. Who cares? Long as a person is a threat, you listen, that's full circle to my message. As long as they're carrying weapons, you gotta beware of the dog, buddy. And that's the bottom line. And you're a fool if you're not. If somebody's carrying weapons and you think you can just try this person, you're a fool. You'll die a fool's death. And that'll be the end of your story. Listen, anybody that's carrying weapons, I don't try nobody. That's why I survive. Because I don't go around trying people. You can't say, see, you might get confused with my language that you might think I don't go around trying nobody. You can't say that. You can't say that. You show me when I just try somebody. You know what I mean? Show me that. Show me that. Where it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense at all. It was no logic behind it at all. At all now. Show me that. Show me that. You can't show me, buddy. That's why I be tripping on people like y'all. Cause you ain't gonna make it but so far, man. You ain't gonna make it but so far, man. Trying people, playing with people, you ain't gonna make it but so far. And that's just what it is. It's just, and if not for any other reason, it's your karma. You know what I'm saying? You can't hide from karma. You know, the truth is, man, all these people that are part of these secret societies, you're a thing of the past. It's expired because it doesn't make sense in our community anymore. Because people don't have a tolerance for that kind of stuff anymore. And they're not scared of it anymore. We're not afraid of the secret societies. We heard too much about it. We hear it over and over again. Eventually, you ain't gonna be scared of it. And here's the thing. It's so much other evil that's going on in the world. The evil that is in the world is more than what the secret societies be doing. The gang stalking ain't nothing in 2026. We don't care nothing about that. We weathered it. We've been through it. And do you care about it? No. So humanity has outgrown the format of secret societies. We've outgrown it. We weathered it. That's another good word for it. We weathered all that they done. And now we're immune as a result. We're immune as a result. We're immune to it as a result. We're not afraid of psychological games and all of that. None of that means anything, because I know I'm gonna keep the same principle. Somebody come my way, they gonna get what I got. And that's that. I don't care what you're talking about. I'll be ready. That's all it is to it. And that's that. And that's how we get past that. You know what I'm saying? We're not stuck on that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody come my way, okay, I'll be ready. And that's that. I'm always ready. You ain't gonna never, listen, you ain't gonna never, because it's part of who I am. I feel naked without a weapon. And that's how it should be. If you carry any kind of weapons long enough, you're gonna feel naked without it. Like just nothing, you ain't got nothing, you're gonna feel naked. You know what I'm saying? That's good. You should feel naked without it. The only time I don't take arms or anything out is when I know the enemy would try to take advantage of that. You know what I'm saying? And try to arrest you, and you know what I'm saying, try to search you or whatever, arrest you, or you have some kind of weird altercation now with the cops, and you just so happen to have a weapon on you. I done been through it. Like, that's why I say you can ask NYPD. Weapon charge. I done got arrested for weapon charges. Go ask them. Go ask them what kind of weapons they pulled off of me. Something that would kill anybody. That's all you need to know. At face value, it will kill you. Most things that I carry. And that's that. I'm going to get something that will kill you. Because I'm supposed to do that. I'm supposed to get something that will play with you. But I'm not trying to be a tough guy. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm going to survive, because I'm doing it for the right reasons. That's why people gonna respect it, because I'm doing it for the right reasons. You can't tell me that you don't supposed to be armed in the times we live in. See, if you pay attention to the police, they ain't never say you should be unarmed. They ain't never said that. Show me a cop that say you supposed to be unarmed. A cop is not gonna tell you you're supposed to be unarmed. If you pay attention, they're not telling you that you should be unarmed. They know the world. They know all this stuff going on better than you do. And they're not going to say you should be an unarmed person. When I talked to the police, they told me you should have a weapon, because this one cop told me when I was locked up, you should have a weapon because we might not be able to get there on time. Say no more. Say no more. Say no more, buddy. Basically, he telling me to leave it to my own discretion. Proceed with your own discretion and just don't get caught out here. That's how I take it. Cause he was like, long as we might not be able to show up, we might not be able to get there on time, and that's my logic. You in close quarters with somebody, the cops is nowhere. It's over before it starts. You're over before it starts. Without a weapon. That's what I'm saying. My logic is sound-minded, like a grown man. I ain't doing this to flex on people. That's a teenager. I do this to protect myself, buddy. And guess what? That's gonna be a more dangerous fit right there, buddy. That's a more dangerous fit, because I'm gonna follow through to protect myself. If I feel like I'm in danger, I'm gonna follow through. Somebody that just carrying it to be cool, they ain't got the whole mindset to follow through. That's all I'm thinking about, is following all the way through and protecting myself if I got to. And that's more dangerous than all these people out here. Cause all I got it for is to follow through. That's it. That's all I got my weapons for, is to follow through, buddy. That's all I got it for. That's all I'm thinking about. Other people get it for whatever reason, to pose a threat, to act like they tough or whatever, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Not me. Not me. I'm past that as a Christian. I'm past being out here with with the streets, with that certain mentality. See, it's a difference between having a street mentality and street principles. Street principles and rules and regulations. You're supposed to have that if you live in a black neighborhood, whether you're a street person or not. You're supposed to have street wisdom if you live in the hood, right or wrong. Your mom's supposed to have it. Your dad's supposed to have it. Your uncles and them living in the hood, even if they ain't in the streets, they gotta have street intuition, right or wrong. That's how you know who ghetto, man. Everybody in the ghetto gotta have street intuition, whether you selling drugs or not. Somebody can break in your house. People broke in our house. Same people you hanging with, street people in your neighborhood, breaking your house. That's who gonna be the one to do it. People that watch your house, people who know you see your routines, everything. Know your routine. That's gonna be the person breaking your house. They know your routines. They know ain't nobody in the house. Everybody go to work. That's the first thing they gonna figure out. Okay, the kids go to school, they go to work, we gonna break in the house. In the daytime, you know what I'm saying? Or whenever. When they know nobody ain't there. You know, so you gotta so even if you ain't part of the street, you in the jungle, what you gotta use street intuition. So I can show you how it applies, see what I'm saying, to people that ain't even in the streets. And if you was really ghetto, you would know that. Anybody in the ghetto have the right to talk about street rules and regulations. That's right. As long as I'm in here, that's right. I'm going to carry weapons through here, that's right. And your family is the same way. And they ain't in no parts of the streets, right? So then, see, that's what made me question people ghetto, because everybody in the ghetto like that. Everybody in the ghetto, most people, especially if they live in a bad neighborhood, they gonna have an arm for the house. They gonna have some kind of gun for the house. And they gonna teach their children how to move out here. You know what I'm saying? They gonna know, kids gonna understand stuff that street dudes understand. They gonna have the same intuition, right or wrong. So then you can't say, if you really ghetto, that people from that only a certain type of people can talk about it, when the whole family living in the hood. The whole family living in the hood, everybody gonna talk about it. They gonna talk about people being shot. They gonna talk about ducking shots. They gonna talk about being robbed, the house broken into. Everybody in the hood gonna be talking about it. So that's what made me question if people really from the ghetto, because you try to exclude certain black people from talking about it. If we live in here, we gonna go through it. Now, white people, that's a different story. Now you can see what I'm saying, but you throw us in the box with them, like they can't talk about it because they ain't living here, but we living here. That's what I'm saying. Long as you here, you can talk about it. That's what I'm saying. I would never sit up and say, oh, this person. No, you can talk about it. But when it comes to you playing a bad position, you're going to get your card pulled. And you should know that. Which means for me, man, like, listen, this is just me. I don't have nobody in my politics that I feel like is not worthy of being in my politics. But rules and regulations, you speak for yourself. You can never pull anybody off of talking about street regulations for themselves. You see what I'm saying? That's the difference. But if you play in a position, besides talking about these rules and regulations, that is questionable, where you in my politics, I have a right to address that. That's the problem. Because how I see it, you shouldn't have ended up in my politics. Nope. You ain't no reason. And see, you listen, how I see it is, you from Disneyland, you know, and you probably, these young people these days, or these old people, they go by the internet now. And whatever you've seen on the internet, you know, I figure you got a lot of trash on your phone and you look at all kinds of stuff, right? Okay, so then you might think that gave you the juice to be in my world. But now you see you failing, because this is the real jungle. This is what it consists of. And we all got thugs in our family. See, that's another thing that people ride off of, and think they can slide off of is that you got a couple thugs in your family. We all do. I got thugs in my family that will kill you too. Kill you dead if they knew what you was doing. Or want you dead. So if I could get to them and we could set it up, I got people that would kill you too. In my family. In my family. Not outside the family. And see, that's what put a battery in a lot of these suckers back, because everybody got thugs in their family these days. Black people. We all do. I do too. So this is what you also have to be cautious of, is we all got real niggas in our family. We all do. I got a person in my family selling drugs all day life. Literally. Nothing. No jobs, no nothing. And making it. That's what I'm saying. I don't listen. I don't tell on nobody. I don't play games, right? But what I'm gonna tell you is, man, we all got people in our family that will kill you. We all got that. So for some people that go, here's another principle for the streets, right? Even though you might see a little punk on the streets, right? He got a thug in his family. You forgot about that part. Oh, these days, yeah. And if you black, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so you might see this sucker out here, right? And you know what to put a battery in his back? His family. His family that's gonna back him every time he go through something. They ain't gonna ask if it's right or wrong. They gonna ride with him anyway. Think about it. Most black families ain't gonna try to hit. They might. I mean, if you have some real OGs, they might scold their own family over you and say they was in the wrong. They might. But more times than not, they gonna just ride with their family and whatever they want to do. So if he want to pull up with his family and flex on you and do stuff against you and beat you up or whatever he want to do, they gonna stand right there and stand with him, and you ain't gonna be able to do nothing. So my point is, even if you have a sucker out here, you even got to take caution with that, because he might call his family. That's true. I'm trying to show you how to survive. I ain't trying to tell you how something to be scared off of. I'm just primal. You know what I'm saying? I know. And especially these females too, they the same way. Female gonna call a whole bunch of dudes. That's all they gonna do. That's why I despise females in these politics, because they can't stand their own ground. All they gonna do is call some dudes in their family, or you most likely in their family. That's what they gonna do. You remember that last situation with the girl, her dad got smoked coming up there to the job on the manager. Black dude got smoked, bro. Right up at the job. He was waiting for him. The manager now. See, that shows you the wow right there, buddy. You think it's all good pulling up on this manager. The manager had a strap on him and everything and smoked the dude. That's what we talking about. Smoked him. Thought you was gonna come up there and talk your junk and flex on him and maybe slap him around or whatever, like he just some punk manager. You thought that was going, man, he was more 100 than the family. Well, if the dad didn't come up there with a strap, he should have. He ain't come up there with a strap. He got smoked. Now that girl got to live with that on her conscience, that she could have handled that situation, but she wanted to be bad. She probably talked junk to that manager, and then when it escalated, she called her dad. That's what I'm talking about. And he got smoked because you escalated a situation with some manager trying to be bad, trying to be in a man's position. Now you wind up calling another man to take care of your business, and he got smoked for it. And now you got to wear that on your conscience. That's a good classic situation of what I'm talking about. These females can't handle their own. You know what I'm saying? They can't stand their own ground. All they gonna do is call some other dudes. That's what she did. She called her dad up there, and he got smoked. Smoking on the Papa pack. Smoking on Papa Smurf pack, man. Dude, manager was smoking on Papa Smurf, man. Smoking on Papa Smurf pack, bruh. And I'm not celebrating that. I'm giving you caution. It's a cautionary tale. I'm supposed to do that. I'm supposed to give you these cautionary tales, man. I guarantee you what happened in that situation. First of all, it's a manager. He got let's understand this. if it was a manager, he can't be but so ratchet, right? He can't be but so, he gotta be kind of professional. He understands being professional and things like that. And he know when he not professional, when he out of pocket, right? He knows when that's the case, right? Okay, so I figure it was her that said something back and forth with him, and she kept escalating the situation, kept escalating and saying mouthing off, talking about what she'll do, everything like that. Think about it. First of all, it's a female. How far you think he went? How far you think he went with a female? That's what it was. That's what it was. She started talking a whole bunch of junk, ratchet and ignorant, right? And she turned up like she was a dude, and then it escalated, and he turned all the way up, and she called her dad when she couldn't handle it. Cause you supposed to be able to handle it. You supposed to be able to handle it. You supposed to have that whole follow through. Not halfway playing with people, talking and playing. Nah, you supposed to have a man has the whole follow through. He got to stand there and take what come with it. And that's why I don't tolerate females in my business. I don't because all you gonna do is call somebody else. That's all you gonna do. So imagine me sitting back thinking I'm going toe to toe with you, and you just call some dudes. Nobody ain't gonna respect that, because we can't do the same thing. When it's mano a mano, you have to stand your ground and do, and that's what people expect of you. Even your own family expect that. But women ain't gonna play that position. They gonna start stuff, play like they thugs, or they dudes, and then when it escalate, they gonna call their family. That's all they gonna do these days. They ain't gonna stand out here one-on-one, mano a mano with you. No. That girl shouldn't have called her dad up there, because her dad is going to overreact. Right or wrong. A dad going to come up there overreacting because she called him. It's already, to him, a bigger problem than it probably was because she called him. It was something she couldn't handle on her own. He come up there like Papa Smurf and got smoked. You know what I'm saying? That's real life. That's all I talk about, man. That pay attention. That's all I talk about, man. Is real life, man. And the things that happened and why it happened. That situation, she came up there. He came up there thinking I could tell how he was thinking. Most likely, he was thinking this was some punk manager he was gonna check. He was gonna check this dude. He might have thought he was gonna slap him around a little bit too, get in his face a little bit. Man, he got smoked, bruh. And she got to live with that on her conscience. When you think about it, she gonna say, I should have just let that go. I should have just let that go. I should have took it. I should have let it go. And now like I said, now she done grew as a young woman, or I don't know if she probably was a young woman. Now she done grew as a person. Now you got to stand out here and take some stuff. You can't be bringing your family into everything. And that's all a female gonna do, is bring their family into stuff. And your family gonna get smoked out here playing with the wrong people. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. That's true. That proves it right there. It don't matter if you mad. It don't matter if you got family sometimes. You know what I'm saying? They gonna if they ain't quick to draw, like I said, what makes the world bad, or in America, is because everybody's quick on the draw. That proves it right there. The manager was quick on the draw. He already had the strap on the job. That tells you it was a bad neighborhood, most likely. You ain't gonna take no strap to no white neighborhood you working at. No, you scared. You think about the police and all of that. It's overkill. That's what you thinking. You might take a blade. You might take a blade over there. You gonna take that to a white neighborhood? No, man, no. That's overkill. Now they probably was living in the hood. That probably was the hood. Wherever he was working, that was probably the hood, and he brought the strap up there for these customers. That's the truth. He brought the strap up there for them customers, like her. Her dad became a customer. Her dad became a customer, bro. That's why that shows you right there the jungle. Somebody, if you just think about any environment, that's why I don't sleep on no environment. You thinking, oh, this dude is at the Popeyes. I think it was Popeyes she was working. One of them little restaurants, them little fast food restaurants. He thinking, oh, this dude up here, you know what I'm saying, he a sucker or whatever. You ain't thinking like the streets. See, that's what I'm talking about. You any type of situation, you never slipping. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, these days, if you don't know from this, people take straps, these managers take straps to the job. These workers take straps to the job, man. Because they live in bad neighborhoods. That's what it is. Because other than that, a criminal ain't taking no strap to no job, and a lame ain't taking no strap to the job. So why they feel like they need to bring a strap to the job? Because it's a bad neighborhood. You feel you already done seen something that made you feel like you need to protect yourself. That's what it is. Something happened where you feel like, oh, that neighborhood is that bad. You feel like you need to protect yourself working up there. Including the manager. And that manager was ready. He was ready for war. And he broke dude all proper like. You know what I'm saying? She came up there. He came up there thinking he was gonna defend his daughter or whatever, and got smoked, bro. Now she gotta live with that on her conscience. She gotta live with that on her conscience, that she brought her dad, drug her dad into that, and she could have let it go. You know, you can't win. You can't win. She see some females trying to win. You know, you can't win. First of all, he's the manager. If you trying to get your money, you can't win arguing with this man. That's what I'm saying. These little ratchet little females out here. You know what I'm saying? You thought you was going to turn up with your family, he got smoked. That's the perfect example. How people think one side is black and the other side is what? His side was just as black as your side. They was just as 100 as you, obviously. He smoked your dad. He was more 100 than your dad. I mean, at the end of the day. And he was more 100 than you. Well, yeah. Well, why you had to call your dad? Because he was more 100. That's why. And he proved it too. Smoked him when he came up there. That's what I'm saying. This ain't a game. This is real life. He got smoked. He got smoked coming up there, thinking he was gonna come up there and check him. Yeah, you need to come up here, tell her dad, yeah, come up here and whatever. This dude done try me, whatever, like that. Dad coming up there, think about it. Probably in his 30s, 40s. He probably in his 40s like me. Oh, let's just say maybe he might be in his 50s. You know what I'm saying? Maybe early 50s. I figure that. About late 40s, early 50s. About around there. He thought he was gonna come up there, man, check old dude like a homie. He thought he was gonna come up here and check him. Like, you can't be trying people like that, man. You know what I'm saying? No, in no circumstance. See, the real soldier realized any building, any place, people could be strapped. That's how I move. I don't care nothing about this building. See, people that get stuck on these buildings and these positions, they the ones that find out the hard way, man. Ain't nobody hiding behind. You can't hide behind no building. You can't hide behind this building. So that means you can't be playing in politics and all of that. This is the streets to me. Now you see what I'm saying? You can't be hiding behind Hassa. And what Hassa gonna do? Hassa in they bed right now asleep. Hassa in they bed asleep right now. Oh, they might be up for breakfast trying to linger around. You know how you do when you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You might be up trying to watch a little movie, a little something, trying to get in the mood before you go to work. But they in the house, ain't they? They still in the house. How's it gonna save you if I want you? See, you one of them type of Negroes that's thinking you can you let your guard down with buildings and restaurants and stores. I don't let my guard down for nothing. Which means I'm the same person in this building and out there. I bring that in here. And I apply it in here. Okay? I apply the same principles in here, out there, in here. And you the type, that's how we know you fake. You know how we know? Because listen, you act like this ain't the streets. How it ain't the streets? It's the world. It ain't gonna never just be a Hassa building with a real nigga up in it. I don't care nothing about this building. I don't care nothing about it. So see, a fake nigga hide behind the building. Like he good, like he's safe. Cause why you safe? Cause it's a building. You safe cause this house a building. That's how we know you're a sucker, bro. Because look, by now you should know anything can pop off anywhere. You could lose your life right up in this building. They take you to the grave from this building. And that go for male and female. You could lose your life being in these politics, playing around these real soldiers. Out here and what, you think what, because this a house building? I don't care nothing about this. That's how we know you fake. You calling people bummer clots and fake up in here and you vulnerable. You sitting up there vulnerable. That's what I'm saying. Listen, you can sleep on them suckers like that. You can't sleep on me like that, buddy. I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know. This the wild. Everywhere I'm at is the wild. I treat everything. That's why I don't die. You know why? Because I don't slip like you do. I can show you a couple times where all these people in here could have been dead. With some other dudes, they would have got you. Because times have changed. This is 2026. This ain't no 1995. Where you watching Martin and everything and Biggie on Martin, this ain't 1995, bruh. This ain't no 1995. You acting like this back in Martin time on the show Martin when Biggie was on Martin. You know what I mean? These past times and all this, how everybody was moving. Ain't nobody moving like that no more, man. Man, look, bro. Ain't nobody moving where you can play in my politics. You see what I'm saying? It's not being crazy. It's how it is. Things change. Nobody tolerates it. You can't be talking and people can hear you and thinking you ain't in danger. Somebody else would have killed you. Female and everything. Think about it. People done got killed for less. For no reason. So my logic is, if somebody can get killed for no reason, you can get killed for any reason. You see that, right? Which means why that stuff you thinking that you're doing, why you doing that, right? Somebody out there would kill you for the same thing. Yeah, talking out of turn, talking, playing in somebody's politics, you'll be dead. That's the world you live in. See, that's why people like y'all gonna get smoked. You know what I'm saying? Just like the dude up there on the job, you know what I'm saying? The daddy coming up to the job, think he gonna check old boy, think he gonna check the manager. Got smoked, bro. Papa Smurf, smoking on that Papa Smurf pad. Know what I mean? It's real. You know what I'm saying? Listen, long as I carry weapons, listen, I tell people like this, you don't gotta believe in me, believe in my arms, bro. Believe in my weapons. You don't gotta believe in me. You can think I'm fake as a, but if you smart, you know if I got weapons on me, you ain't gonna try me, buddy. No, you're not. You're not. If you ain't a fool, you'll try anybody. You don't know what that person will do with you. You can't be too short, can you? No, you can't. If he carrying weapons, how short can you be? You can't be 100% sure. Anybody will tell you that. So you playing yourself. You can't be 100% sure something won't happen to you and the person has arms on them. You hoping that. You hoping nothing won't happen. I'm showing people street wisdom. That's, if you don't know, this is what this is. This is street wisdom. Somebody carrying weapons, man. Listen, you can't say what'll happen. You can try to flex on that person. You can say what you want, but everybody else know you playing yourself if he got a weapon on him. They ain't halfway agreeing with you. They ain't halfway agreeing with you. Cause they sitting back looking at the fact he got weapons on him. That's it. That's all they looking at. And you can say whatever you want to say, and that's what everybody looking at. That's what everybody paying attentive about. I made myself clear in this building. I already did. I already made myself clear. Somebody came through that door. I showed you what I was made of. I showed you me in action. Besides the talking, I showed you. Now, what you gonna say after that? That's what I'm saying. That's a cartoon, bro. That's what I'm trying to show you. Somebody came through that door. I had weapons. Why you think he left? Why you think he left? He opened the door to talk. He didn't talk at all. He didn't stand there too long either. He didn't stand there too long. By 20 seconds, he was gone. 20 seconds max, he was gone, buddy. He ain't staying here a full minute. And look, did I step out here messing with people? No. People barked up the wrong tree playing with me. That's why nobody ain't saying nothing. Because I mind my business too much. You know what I'm saying? And that's the type that people talk about. People that mind their business, them be the main ones get you right there, buddy. Give you all that you need. Everything you're looking for. Give you all the smoke you're looking for, buddy. Give you all the smoke you're looking for. And the ones that's all in everybody's face, them the fake people, because they're going to be doing all the talking, trying to be cool with everybody. I don't care nothing about that. I don't care nothing about it. I ain't trying to be cool with nobody. How about that? I'm not trying to be cool with nobody. And that's that. It's times have changed. You know, I don't trust nobody, no, and I'm not crazy, and I live in New York. I don't trust nobody, and I don't talk to nobody. I don't care about it. That's why I'll survive. That's why people will feel confident that I will survive. They ain't gonna be confident in you because you start problems. You do stuff. You a knucklehead. You do stuff underhandedly. They ain't gonna think you can survive too long doing that stuff you're doing. Me, I maintain my own space, and I listen. I have no problem with being in my own company. I don't have to be linking up with people and linking up. You know how black people used to say, link up, let's link up. Let's link up. Let's link up. I don't gotta link up. I ain't linking up at all. How about that? I ain't linking up at all, buddy. We in 2026, man. This war about to pop off. These real wars popping off, and all these roaches gonna be so surprised. You're gonna be looking like a crackhead when the police break in the door. That's 7 hours. You know how the crackhead look when the police kick in the door? Police done kicked in the door. You look like a crackhead when the police kick in the door. That's how you gonna look when God brings judgment on this country and when these wars pop off. World War III and everything, the signs are there. Everybody talking about it. Even Trump done said that. Even he done produced that sound bite. Trump done talked about World War III, right or wrong. In the past year about that, right? About the past couple years, about the past year, he done used the soundbite World War III. If Trump's saying it, what you think going on? And this present administration, even with that being said, they ain't gonna tell you when it's really popping off. That you gotta read between the lines. You gotta go look at news outlets in different countries. You gotta go to these other countries and look at the news. Then they gonna tell you the truth. Stuff I done did it a million times. I go look at another news and I didn't know that happened. You ain't done that yet? Yeah, I didn't know that happened. When that happened? When that happened? They gonna censor the news over here. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go look at the other news across the street. I'm gonna go look at the other news across the street. Then I realized, oh man, that happened. Oh, what this, that, what they saying about this and that? Man, I promise you, man, it's been times where something that was biased towards the Americans, they didn't promote, they didn't broadcast it. If it was something against them, in other words, if it was something against the Americans, they didn't broadcast it. Then you gotta go over there and listen to another. Oh, you want a perfect example? When they took Maduro from South America up here, right? And then all the countries came together in the UN, right? And had an emergency meeting. You didn't see hardly any of that on the news. Here in America, where they was talking about the emergency meeting against the Americans, against what they was doing. They didn't broadcast that because it was against them. I had to go over days later and get it from another news outlet, the whole thing where the different countries came together in an emergency meeting in the UN, in the headquarters, talking about what America was doing, bringing Maduro here to America. I had to go find it from a country in another country. News in another country. That's what, and it's gonna get worse like that. I don't just listen to no CNN and MSNBC, man. I listen to world news, BBC, all them other outlets, Al Jazeera. You know which one I'm talking about. That's my ghetto moment for the day. Al Jazeera, You know what I'm talking about? I watch that one. I watch BBC. You know what I'm saying? I watch all these different networks that's outside the country. If you don't, they ain't gonna tell you everything as it is, man. It's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse because they scared of Trump. They scared to report the wrong thing on Trump. They don't want no smoke. They don't want no challenges. So they kind of halfway censored. You see what I'm saying? They halfway censored. So, yeah. You got to go to these other countries to hear what's really going on. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. That's what I'm doing. I go to these other countries. I listen to what they talking about in these other countries. You know what I'm saying? Like you like people that overbuilt themselves in these psychological cults and these cults. You might as well call them a cult. Man, you're gonna get washed away like roaches. The first reason is because of your karma. The second reason is because you don't fit in our community. There's no tolerance for people like you in our community. The third reason is the wars are just gonna take over the whole world, and that's what you wasn't ready for. Your senseis didn't prepare you for that, did they? Your little dumb masters didn't prepare you for that, did they? Oh, the world ending and being swallowed up in war. All my masters prepared me for it. What you thought was gonna happen? We was gonna dance around under disco balls until the year 3000. Well, we're not gonna be dancing under the disco balls to the year 3000. Not the year 3000, buddy. We're not gonna be dancing under disco balls. Well, I wanted to dance on the disco ball to the year 3000. Where disco ball at? Where the disco balls? Give me the old school disco ball with the glass in it. I want the old ones. I bet you they got a new one, don't they? I want the old ones with the glass on all of it, so the glass reflect the light all over the building. See, you know what happened to you? You know what? Let me tell you what happened to you. You played with the real ones, buddy. That's all that happened to you. And if you listen, buddy, it'll be so bad and it'll be so sad for you to die not acknowledging that. All you did was play with the real ones, buddy, and you played yourself. That's all. That's all. Ironically, why you questioning whether I'm real or not? Does it matter? That's how you know I'm real. Does it matter? Does it actually matter? No, you're being defeated. We got child marriage laws on you as Americans. That's defeat, whether I'm real or not. You marrying children, right? Whether I'm real or not, you lose. That's 7 out. Listen, buddy, you marrying children as a community. You should have knew not to come out here. And if you ain't doing it, why you out here then? In the country that marries children. Listen, buddy, you thought I was something to play with, didn't you? So I'm trying to show you. I don't feel sorry for you. No, I do not. Because I wouldn't have made that mistake. You would have never seen me come out here playing around somebody about some children, but we ain't seen him do nothing. We ain't seen him do nothing. He done lived perfectly normal, better, in fact, more normal than you. He's proved to be more normal than you, better than you by other people's standard, but yet you coming out here playing around this dude like he's some strange person. No, you the strange person. That's what we figured out. What we figured out is you the one strange. Real strange. Played yourself, buddy. You can't make me no scapegoat. I'm too real. I'm the same person. I'm the same person that ain't playing no games. So anything you talking about, I'm not playing no games. That's all I'm saying. And that's that. That's that, buddy. Everybody gonna die anyway. You know, you gotta, everybody. That's why when you become older, it's how you die. It's not whether you die or not. See, when you're young, you haven't come to terms with death yet. Okay, but you get a certain age, you already know you're gonna die, so you start setting it up to where you have a legacy. You know, you leave behind something. You teach people, you do something worthwhile. You know what I'm saying? Only a young idiot is walking around here not doing that. Because you're gonna die anyway. You gonna die. And that's facts. You don't think you're gonna die? Oh, I get it. You think like some of these white Americans that some freeze, you're gonna be frozen for the year 3000. No, you know how many Americans actually think that, well, they're gonna be frozen. I'll be frozen. They'll freeze me and preserve me for another time. All these bombs will be frozen for another time. I don't think so. Even if they had the technology, they're gonna let you die. Why they gonna freeze a bum? Well, he was a good bum on the streets. He always kept the sidewalk clean. We'll freeze him. He gave candy to the children during the Christmas time and the holidays. He gave them candy canes. He was a bum, but he gave him candy cane. We'll freeze him because he gave the kids candy cane. They gonna freeze a bum because he giving kids candy canes. Look, man, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. Can I tell you something? You realize you played with an African? You realize I'm an African, don't you? Well, how you thought you was gonna beat me? You gotta face African strength. I'm African strength. You didn't beat me. You didn't beat. So, because you're African, you don't have to face African strength? Interesting. Because you're African, I'm not African. Which means you gotta face something else other than African. Because you feel like you're more African than me. Well, listen. Another thing that you faced was African strength. I have that, right? Yeah, that part. You forgot about that, didn't you? You forgot about that, didn't you? Didn't you? Didn't you? Well, I'm African too, last time I checked. Last time I checked. Last time I checked. You facing African strength, buddy. And it don't matter that you African. Man, you can't be that simple. You can't be. You facing African strength. And it don't matter what you stand for or that you black too. So what? You still facing African strength. It's not going away. It's not going away. It's not going away. It's not going away, buddy. My African strength is not going away. Tell white America my African strength is not going away. Well, the black people didn't really embrace him, so I don't think he got no African strength. Oh, they didn't embrace me, so you don't think I got African strength. Black people don't accept me, so I don't got African strength. You simple, ain't you? You simple, ain't you? You're very simple, aren't you? Look, buddy, let me tell you something. You're facing African strength. You know that? Do you realize that? Oh, because I didn't get along with them. I didn't get validated by them. I'm not African strength. Listen. Last time I checked, buddy, I got African strength. And that's what you're facing. That's what you're facing. That's what you're facing. Hey, man, look. That's why I don't play with people like a clown. That's a clown. Now look at it for what it is. Look how I exposed it. That don't look like the path of a clown. Yes, it does. You can clearly see this dude is African. What else is he? Is he white? He's not white. Is he all the way white? I mean, so if you had to take an educated guess, what do I look like? What do I look like to you? Come on, man, stop playing, bro. Listen. You thought you don't one of them type of people to think you're the only African in the world, don't you? You think you're the only African person. You think you're the only African person, don't you? You think you're the only African. You think you're the only African, don't you? That's so sad. You've been beaten by African strength, something you prided yourself on, but you overlooked in somebody else. You're another cautionary tale. That's what it is. Don't think you're the only African on the block, buddy. Don't think you got all the goods and everybody else is just lame to you and everything. You know what I mean? That type of person. That type of person. You got all these goods. You all this African you can be. You all African you can be. In the army. You all the African you can be in the army. Played yourself. Played yourself, buddy. Played yourself. Yeah. You just want to be like, and so the white people, we're all African. Well, you don't have a lot of it, do you? We're all African, really? Okay, then why you classified as something else? Why on your government you're not called African? And on your government you're not African. Okay, so you got a little something going on, but come on, man, stop playing. You want to be it so bad, while most of us struggle with it. Not saying we don't love ourselves, but we struggle with the experience of being black in America. Oh, we would rather be anything but that here in America as far as experience, because we don't have a good experience here in America as a black person. So although we love being African, we don't like the experience of being black in America and the outcome we got and the poverty we got. Why you ready to try to be black? You ready to try to be black, ain't you? You ready for it, ain't you? You ready to try to be black, ain't you? Yeah, you worship it, and listen, we tired of the experience. You worship being black and we don't. Cause I mean, these days you see we kill each other. See you another one that's in what, 1990, it's 1972. You in 1972 with the disco balls. Back to the disco ball. Back to the disco ball. Back to the disco ball. You back to the disco ball in 1972, ain't you? Well, you think we soul brothers? Well, I thought we were soul brothers back in 1972 with the disco ball. I thought we were all soul brothers. Well, we're not soul brothers no more. Nobody's soul brothers, are they? So I'm not gonna play a soul brothers position. You want me to play a soul brother position, don't you? Well, we're not in 1972. The soul brothers were beautiful back in 1972. But there's no more. Listen, man. Listen. Do you see soul brothers out there like 1972? No, you don't. No, you don't. So I gotta play that position of a soul brother while everybody else is on whatever. Everybody else on whatever, right? But I'm supposed to play a soul brother from 1972. And that could be a movie, couldn't it? Soul Brother from 1972. He come out here in 2026 and crash out. He crashed out in 2026, don't he? Try to act like a soul brother, man, and everybody got these rules and regulations, and that's all we talking about, these rules and regulations. That's all we talking about over here. This is what happened. What else you think gonna happen? It applies. So when you pro-black, man, I hate to tell you, listen, if you lack certain goods, being pro-black, you come off like a soul brother from 1972. That's 7th hour. Hey, you come off like a soul brother from 1972. And I'm not saying you can't love your people, but you gotta adjust to the changes of your people. Which means you gotta teach us what the truth is right now on who we are now. Not that whole pro-black stuff like we fighting rights in the 1972 times. Because that ain't what it is. What it is we killing each other right now, and we killing our own children right now. So you come off like a soul brother from 1972. And I mean, maybe people, it gives them a sense of comfort, for you to come off like a brother from 1972. Okay, it gives them a sense of comfort. But I'm going to keep it 100, and I'm going to show people how to survive. While you don't got no rules and regulations, because a pro-black person ain't going to talk about no rules and regulations in the streets, are they? That's somehow. No. They don't get into the wiring and logistics of rules and regulations, principles, how the streets moving out here. While you talking about whatever you're talking about, let's talk about how the streets moving. That's what we talking about. You got rules. You got something on that. You ain't got nothing on that. You ain't got no literature. You ain't got no literature on that, do you? Hey, you ain't got no literature on how the streets is moving now, do you? You ain't got no literature on street rules and regulations. Oh, it's important. It's very important. These young kids can get smoked out here and ain't got nothing to do with the streets. In their own neighborhood, going to the bodega, talking to somebody they shouldn't be talking to. You gotta show, so you gotta take significant time to talk about that. You gotta take significant time to talk about it. If you're supposed to call yourself pro-black. Otherwise, you sound like somebody from 1972, a soul brother from 1972, bro. You gotta come out here and talk about these rules and regulations, man. If you care about your people. Because that's all they subject to. All they subject to is these rules and regulations. Everybody is. Everybody is, And it doesn't mean you have to be submitted to it necessarily. No, let me put it like this. You're not subject to it, but you are submitted to how everything is moving. How the rules and regulations make the streets move. Where if everybody ain't talking to each other, you don't come trying to talk to everybody in the streets. They gonna look at you like you're crazy. If you go to a real dangerous neighborhood, you go in the store, you can't be what's up, baby? What's up? What you mean, what's up? That's how people gonna start. What's up? When the last time y'all heard somebody say what's up? Around here. When the last now they making a whole thing about you saying what's up. Yeah, what that meant, man? What you mean what's up, man? What, you want a problem? You want smoke? Oh man, nah, I'm just saying what's up. Like what you mean, man? What you mean what's up? I'm dead serious, man. You asking people what's up. Okay? See, I can see all these little attacks that they do, but listen, them people right there, I'm gonna tell you something. They gonna die so horrible. Bro, I'm telling you, as soon as they try to come for me when they mad about it, God gonna smash them again. Yeah, because eventually you gonna get mad at me and try to blame me, right? For the lane that you are. As soon as you come for me, buddy, listen, God gonna smash you on sight, buddy. You gonna get smashed on sight. We're gonna show you a lame had no business coming out here. Okay, well, if you was part of these secret societies, you should have stayed over there. All right, you should have kept your mouth closed, because I'm above the streets, and that's the punchline. Whether they like it or not, I'm above those streets, and that's the conclusion. Even when we talk about the streets, some people worship this. I'm above it. And that's how you know I'm not a student. I'm a master, buddy. You play me like I'm a student in war and everything like that. If you play me like that, what's going to happen to you is what you got out here going on. You think this is all a coincidence that all these wars are happening? No, it's not. We're shutting it down. It's shutting down. That's God shutting it all down, buddy. It's over. And how you can be sure about that? Because once the mentality of the people is gone, you can't get it back. Once certain stuff happened to the community, like COVID and all this other stuff happened, once that happens, it's all over. You can't get it. We'll get back to what? Like, people are too simple-minded. And I keep it 100. You might could try to do it, they can't. So they gonna dictate how this really moves. And most people don't have the discipline to still maintain who they are and how they think past all these things that have happened. They gonna go along with the current. They gonna go along with what happened. And they gonna adjust to it in a certain way. And their mind is gonna be different than it used to be. And it's not gonna go backwards. And you know that, don't you? You can listen, you can maneuver yourself past these things and be unchanged. You know what I mean, right? But the other people can't. They can't be unchanged. They changed by this stuff. And they gonna dictate how this stuff move out here. Not you. The overall community, black, white, everybody not able to adjust to these situations, right? Let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100. They gonna go along with what they see and how they see it and everything that's going on as they see it, right? They not trying to think higher, like to come above it. They gonna go along with it, which means they gonna change how everybody's mentality is, because they gonna adapt to it in their own way, but leave the old way behind, and everybody going with that. Because once they adapt and you see how it is, and it appeals to the people. See, once this happened and the people change, they adapt, and then that adaptation appeals to the people, and everybody get on the bandwagon. That's how they're gonna do with black people, because we gonna adapt to whatever it is. And when people see we adapt to it, they see that on the internet, they go, oh, that's how we talk now, that's how we move now. But the only reason you did it, only reason you adapt to it, because it appealed to you. No, that's the truth. It appealed to you. And then you adapted to it. And guess what that means? We ain't going back, buddy. We ain't going back. We're not going back. Hey, tell America we're not going back. It's some people who think we going back. Back to what? Who can go past how it used to be before COVID? Who gonna go back to COVID before COVID? Anybody how can you do it? You can't do it. You can't go back to how it was before COVID. That's over. It's over. That's life. Things have changed. Adapt or die. That's all there is to it. First thing is, after COVID, we ain't playing no games with no gang stalkers. No, and no again. We don't got no respect for these chumps, these cornballs playing around people's psychology. That's all they doing, playing around people's mind, and their mentality. Them people, man, they think it's a game, man. Listen, I can't wait to see you get what you deserve. I can't wait to see you get washed up. Because to me, you ain't bad. You ain't tough. I've been around killers. I've been around people that kill people. That's certified. No, I didn't say people that thought about killing people. I've been around people that killed people. Them people still in the grave that they killed. Right now, in reality. Reality, they dead now. They might have not been dead if that person didn't kill them. They might have still been alive. See, you ain't been around no killers. Oh, you went and found them, that's not the same thing. It's going to be a different energy. That's 7 hours. No, I'm talking about you befriending killers, and you ain't doing it for them to join the Freemasons. You think I'm stupid? Hey, they went and found killers, didn't they? Man, them clowns, man. When they play your position, they clowns. We ain't have to go find killers and recruit killers to our cause. We just walked around and killers came around. We just walked around and killers came around.